How dangerous? How dangerous our little fish has swam away. We'll see. We'll see when he returns to warmer waters here on Get on My AstroTurf, episode 5, which Andreas made the image of a lumberjack, as he is wont to call this, Canadian lumberjack astrology. A lumberjack pondering the orb, teaching beavers the messages of the stars. And so I figure today I'll reveal a little bit of true Canadian lumberjack astrology if Andreas is going to continue to title this
I'm
that.
here. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, this isn't. I didn't even see this one. This is new. This is amazing.
There's a whole freaking series. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, but it's Breaking Beaver. I think it's what it means. It's this art style.
So I call this episode "Beavers Are the Most Capricornian Creatures," because I have my own. I've pondered the orb of my own inspiration, and thought about if in my region where I live in northern Canada, what would the zodiac be? And the beaver wins out for Capricorn, which is the water goat, right? Which is like
a beaver is like a sea weasel. It's like exactly right, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think. No, it's a rodent. It's not a weasel.
It's a rodent.
Yeah. Subset of a rodent.
No, actually, there is a. I'm sorry. I think sea otters
yes.
are sea weasels, and beavers are sea rodents.
You got it.
Marine rodents.
But like beavers literally go around and like they are the most industrious creatures. They literally, like a Capricorn, rule the land and are like, I will reform it to my will. I will chop down the trees. And as a Saturn ruled sign, I will create a restriction and a boundary on this river. You know?
So good. Yeah, they're actually the keystone species, right?
Right.
Beaver keystone species. You can put them in places like the desert as long as there's just a little bit of water. Within 20 years, an entire habitat can form. So New Mexico used to be covered with beavers, and I did a project some time ago, years ago, where we reintroduced beavers back into New Mexico. And the government was actually paying for this in order to have as many beavers put in New Mexico as possible so they could reclaim desert areas. I wish I could find the picture of beaver reclaiming.
That's cultural appropriation. Beavers are Canadian, okay? Leave them alone. All right, they don't want to be in the desert.
I think there's European beavers as well, but yeah, I mean, Canada is definitely the home of the beaver in a lot of ways.
And what about the giant beavers that were bigger than bears? I want to see some of those. We got to bring those back.
What's the name of the giant beaver? The giant beaver, the Castroidus ohioinus, or something like that.
And which is interesting, the beaver is the caster. And Saturn, who rules Capricorn, was the castrator. So,
dude,
there you go.
Giant beaver. I should be very careful typing that as my safe search on media. Duly noted. Yeah, that's amazing. So, okay, let's also go back to business here for a second. I'm going to show that we have FChat open here. So anybody who wants to have their astrology charts read, you go to the link here, and inside of FChat, you click on the StreamYard link, and you'll be able to join the astrology show right now live on Xirtus, which I will also post in regular FChat so that anyone can find their way in.
Yeah, I had a really fascinating opening chart to do that bailed at the last minute. I don't blame the guy. He's a good guy. But anyways, so we got no one to start the show, which has been a nice, sort of a nice trend to have someone we can open up with. So hopefully there are people out there wanting to get their charts read.
Right. So I see 5-leaf clover here. How's it going? Got a beaver songwood. Man, have you been watching curling? I'll tell you what, that is an exciting sport. And I feel like there's a movie waiting to be made about like two brothers that were the greatest curlers in the 1980s or something, and then they have a fight, and then one of them has a son who doesn't love curling, but he loves his father, and then his father dies curling, and so then the son, he has to actually reclaim his father's title, and like he's gonna start curling for his dad, because otherwise they're gonna close down the local curling ring, something like that.
This is the story of my life. My dad actually is the president of the curling club, and like
Really?
And my cousin's
Virtually
son,
shake your hand, sir. Just
my
touch the screen that touched the internet, that touched the screen of the boy who touched the hand of the greatest curler in your town.
And my cousin was like a provincial champion, and his son just won a big like national championship, which unfortunately,
dude, curling, that's so great. You have no idea. Like, I love curling. It's like the closest thing to actual space travel, because there's this perpetual motion thing that goes on. It's like everything Star Trek wishes it was, curling actually is. It's the greatest sport. It's the greatest Olympic discipline.
I'll tell you that like the night that I became one with the universe through means that I won't get into here, but the next day I went curling. Me and some friends in high school had like I don't know, I was just in this like post mushroom haze, like in a curling rink. It was I've got a history with it. I mean, I'm of Scottish descendant and I'm Canadian. Like, of course, there's curling in my life.
Well, that's even further what this story is about, actually. So the son finds out that the father loves curling because when he was, he's Scottish. And it's something that was passed down from his grandfather in the old country. And it's like in the 15th century, this Scottish man must have picked up this stone and hurled it across the ice. And it's probably his great grandfather that invented curling.
Oh,
like,
wow.
You find this out as the story goes on. Like, it's that important. Like, 'cause it's a small world, that things are connected. But his competition when he's going up curling, because he's got to get his friends together for this team, he comes up against the Swiss, right? Because the Swiss are all of a sudden becoming good curlers. Like, how are the Swiss being, getting good at curling? And it turns out it's his uncle who started coaching the Olympic Swiss team. And this was all inspired because I was watching the Olympic curling this week, and the Swiss are really good this year. They didn't win, thank God. Canada still came out strong, but the Swiss have a Canadian treasonous man, a Canadian coach for the Swiss team. It just goes to show you that some people have no values.
See, what I know of curling is more these stories of my grandfather and his degenerate curling buddies and going to tournaments and making huge snowballs and like taking windows off their frame to get it into the hotel room of like their just insane stories, absolutely insane stories.
Stix, who's asking how does he get on the show? You go to the link here, fchat.net/Xirtus, and you click on the link for the StreamYard right there, and then you can jump in. And while you're there, let me go to the Astro Seek horoscope chart. You can type in your numbers here to the horoscope chart right there as well. So here's the birth chart seeker. But yeah, just pop in that link. What's up, Anon? Very good.
Yeah, the end of our last episode, we had a bunch of people trying to get on. I forgot to message any of them and let them know we're doing this today, because
maybe you should do an astrology reading about today then, and why it's such a because it's not like retrogrades work great for me because out of the chaos comes order. But because today I went and talked to a bunch of refugee kids in Vienna about how to self-realize and choose what they want to do for their lives and everything. It was a super weird day because I never do that. I felt like that scene in Silicon Valley where Big Head, the idiot kid, wants to sign up for class and then he accidentally becomes a lecturer at Stanford. It's like, that's basically what my day was like.
Well, we're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. It's not quite there yet. It's going to turn on 26, but we're Mercury's moving real slow in Pisces, where it doesn't have a lot of power, but it's wide open to the possibilities of the universe.
So I see several people here. Just Jacob, how's it going? And then Stixu, if you found your way. I guess you said you're slow, but if you find your way to the F chat, then you can grab the link and do the show.
And I mean, we've just had the Saturn-Neptune conjunction a few days ago, perfected finally. And we're in the middle of eclipse season. So we're going to have another eclipse on March 3rd. So we're just building up to this lunar eclipse, this full blood moon eclipse. And in the meantime, because eclipses are the birth and death of kings, we had Prince Andrew arrested. So it was pretty interesting.
That was pretty crazy. Wasn't that on his birthday, right?
Was it? I didn't really dig into it. I didn't dig into it. I hear everyone's going to be talking about that. It's too on point.
Well, I mean, just because it's astrologically related, he was born
Yeah.
February 19th.
Wow, the day
1960.
before the perfection of the Saturn-Neptune
And
conjunction in the
I was
midst.
thinking about that because that would mean that, if he were to be born in, let's say, it's like California, then he would have been born at like what, 4 p.m. on the 18th, 4:20 maybe.
Well, it's about 5 hours difference.
Yeah,
So, well, do we know? I'm sure we have the time. You usually have the time of all the royals. If you do like
yeah.
natal chart, Prince Andrew, you'll find it.
Let's find it.
You can see you've got like AstroDienst. You could
Where
Oh,
Astro
right there.
Astro.
Go to Astro theme. Prince Andrew, Duke of York.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Let's
So
see. I'm sure
born
we got
3:30 p.m.
Yeah, we got a double A time. So that might be a rough time, but you go down further. Go down further, and we'll get his chart. Okay, right there. Yeah, so he's Leo rising, of course. But why is he so stupid? Oh, he's Mercury Pisces. He doesn't exactly have the swiftest Mercury. And he's actually oh my god, his sun is conjunct your sun too. I should have noted that. Look at that 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 Pisces. Oh my goodness. He's like, I'm part of the royal family. I'm not going to be the like opposite to Leo. I can't. No, I'm not coming out yet, mummy. I need that 0, 0, 0 sun. I can't be Aquarius. I can't do it. That's hilarious. And then a Mars. Okay, so in terms of like sex crimes, Mars Venus aspects are huge, especially if okay, so this one does not directly relate to Uranus. Uranus getting involved in that Mars Venus, and also he's got Saturn there too. Crazy. All right.
Poor bastard. He must have been the fall guy for sure.
We
mean,
gotta
I
burn
can't.
someone on these files. We gotta burn
The
someone.
idea that like Prince Charles, that King Charles wasn't doing worse things is just.
Oh yeah. Best friends with.
He may have killed his wife allegedly, or so someone crazy once said. I don't know. It's probably a lie. What do they know?
Yeah.
Hey, right. Styx made it. What's up?
All right. Yeah, let's stop punching up and picking on royals. We're gonna start
man.
Now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a little slow. Sorry.
No worries.
All good, man. All good.
So how are you doing?
Oh, very well.
So do you know your time and place of birth? We're gonna
certainly do. Yep. How do I get this lag out? Wow, this is gonna drive me nuts.
You have a lag?
Well, yeah. I see. I'm on my phone and I'm watching it on YouTube.
Oh, shut off your YouTube.
Yeah, just turn off the video. You should be able to hear us fine through your phone.
Oh yeah. I can totally hear you, but yeah. So I'm not watching that anymore. Cool.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm a fan of
that's okay.
Myself, but
we'll lose a viewer.
All right, what's your date of birth? What's your date of
birth? March 9th, 1968.
And then what time?
9:48 p.m. And I was born in Arcata.
1 second. 1968, and then what time again? Sorry.
9:48 p.m.
9:48.
And I was born in Arcata, California.
Oh, how do we spell it?
Arcata.
Arcadia.
Arcata.
Arcata.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Let's get her up. Oh, we got a dignified
I'm gonna grab some water.
Dignified Mars. Oh, you're up. You're getting close to your second Saturn return, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right. And a Pisces sun coming up on your solar return. A Mercury Venus conjunction in Aquarius. And your Scorpio rising. Okay. Okay, so that's really interesting.
Right.
So right off the bat, okay, so your ascendant ruler is Mars, right? And so that represents you in your chart. Okay, so the chart is like the whole world of your whole life that you're going around. It's your parents, it's your friends, it's everything, right? And within your chart, you are Mars, which is powerful in Aries, right? Very powerful. The matching of the fiery courageous energy of the hero, but it's with Saturn and K2 or Rahu rather. Sorry, I said K2. Rahu, the North Lunar Node.
K2, right?
So what a kind of and in the 6th house of like illness. So what I'm trying to figure out is your health situation, because you would have, I guess, a lot of like illnesses coming and going over your life, but you're able to surmount them, but a lot of like stop-start energy there.
Yeah. I had pneumonia when I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
Very unlikely to survive those in 1970, I guess. Yeah.
Really, eh?
Oh, yeah. It didn't matter what hospital you were in. I mean, your odds of being, 2 years old and surviving pneumonia.
Yeah, for sure. And yet you did, right?
I'm still here.
Which is such an Aries energy, right? Mars Aries energy. And yet you've got that Saturn there. So like your capabilities, and you have profound capabilities to do what you want in the world, and yet it's always like down. The outside world's always coming at you. And wow, yes. So Saturn rules your IC of your family. So did you I guess you came from a family that was very restrictive, confining in a way, maybe?
That's even more complicated than that. Yeah.
Loving family, though. I'm not saying not a loving family, but like
oh, no, it was far from that. I mean, well, I was loved, but there was just chaos. It's it's a routine, or it's a rhythm, and I pick up on patterns.
Okay.
So I've managed to, it seems like my luck is increasing or getting better. I don't know. I don't really believe in luck, but
your luck is getting better. Well, I mean, Jupiter's supporting you, right? Like you've had Jupiter in your 9th house with your moon for the past year. I mean, that's super positive. So this year would be a very good year in general. But you've also got this Saturn return coming up. Do you know when your first Saturn return was? What information?
No.
Okay,
no.
I'll find that for you real quick. 1 second. What were you at? 22, right? No, sorry. Go back to full screen. 12. Okay. Andreas, do you have any questions for our friend here?
I'm just wondering, so what do you think are the best things you want in this next coming year? What is your focus for this year?
It's like a rebirth, ending of a cycle, a beginning of new.
So, April of 1997. What can you tell us about that? That was your first Saturn return.
Wow. I got busted for growing marijuana in 96.
Okay.
Had 700 indoor plants.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a big one. Okay, so 96. So leading up to your Saturn return.
Yeah. Well, I was in jail when 215 passed. It was like my get out of jail free card kind of weirdness.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, so
being born in Humboldt County, one of the the Emerald Triangle. My birthday's in March, the 3rd month on the 9th day, which is 3 3s. Then I was born in the Trinity Hospital. 3s rule my life. I mean, I have a tattoo of 3 fish because I'm a Trices, not a Pisces.
and you have a grand trine in your chart, a grand water trine.
Yeah, I see that. I'm looking at the beautiful shapes, and I like to facet stones, and I'm kind of addicted to rocks.
Oh yeah. All right. Fair enough. I've got my own rocks that I love very much.
Yeah. You have any holy stones like this?
No, I don't.
I'll have to send you one.
Is this a hole you made, or you're saying you found it like this?
Yeah. No. This is all me.
Okay. So you carve rocks.
Yeah, I like to mess with stones.
Okay. For like magical purposes?
Well, you can use them how you like.
What a Piscean answer. What a Piscean answer. I love it. So you not only have a grand trine, you actually have a kite pattern, eh? So like you have the focus is the Pluto Uranus conjunction, which is pretty major, right? Like that happens every couple hundred years.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fascinating that you've got a couple hundred years, 120, 150. Anyways, I won't dig in. It's not that important, but
it's deep. It's deep water. Being a Pisces, I'm aware of the depth.
Yeah, well, because you were born with your sun opposed Pluto and Uranus, right? So the dangers of being weird and strange and eccentric are so present in your life.
Dangerous? What's dangerous about it?
Well, I don't know. Growing caught and getting caught, that's pretty dangerous. Like that's,
Well, I haven't been caught yet, so we'll see.
Wait, didn't you say you got busted?
Well, yeah, but I was caught and released.
Yeah, there you go. Like a fish. Like a fish.
yeah, pretty much. They'd like slap me on the hand, or slap me on the fin and say, behave.
Oh, there you go.
Humboldt County was realizing very quickly that they liked not being one of the poorest places in California, and it was way more fun being one of the wealthier places in California.
Certainly, I didn't go to college. I figured I would just grow pot for the rest of my life, and everybody was all, "Oh, we gotta legalize, Like, no, black markets matter, people. Hello. But I'm just some crazy eccentric fucking hippie. I don't know. Whoops, sorry. Andreas,
can I say that? Andreas, you blocked the IRS from the stream, right? You clicked the block button on IRS.
Hey, I don't care. I quit paying fucking taxes when they called me a felon for growing my medicine.
There you go. All right. So see, what's interesting is you have Saturn in the sign of its fall, where it is now in Aries, which is like, your capacity to care about about governmental and control structures is very low. Like Saturn and Aries people are like, the rules? I don't care about the rules. What's my
right? I don't need no stinking papers.
But beware, because your Saturn returns can be rough, right? So you need to build structures, especially because you have Saturn with Mars, with Rahu. So be cautious in this time, because your Saturn return is coming up. Let's give you a on this.
Yeah, there's sort of this expression, when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? And I think it has to do with like when you're in the master's domain, you have to submit to certain rules of their domain, which is a shitty situation, but that's basically, that's kind of the, to some extent.
Right.
It is the double-edged sword of life.
Death and taxes sway over every man's heads.
So this year, like May, June is going to be the first hit, which is like setting the stage. Pay attention, watch for the signs, watch for like, what have I not that is now leading to stress and danger, right? Watch.
For sure.
And then that's the first hit. The second hit is going to be in October, September, October. That's the second act. That's the like, okay, now you're in the worst case scenario. Okay, that's when Saturn is going to actually come. It's coming for you. Okay, so
sure.
Take note in May, June, and spend your summer working on whatever the signs are. Whatever the message you're getting from Saturn, which wants rules, structure, authority. I mean, you've got Saturn in Aries, so you're not good at any of that anyways. But do the best you can to build up some kind of structure for yourself, okay? And then you're going to get hit in October. It'll be rough. October will be rough for sure. And then in 2027, you're going to get the resolution in February. Okay, so that's sort of the lineup for you coming up.
Nice.
So take note this spring. Okay, be aware, because you can get through it. Usually the second Saturn return is better than the first, because most people, before they've had one cycle of Saturn through their chart, they can't align to that energy. They're just children, and once you get that Saturn return, hopefully you grow from it, right? Hopefully you grow and build something more stable, and we'll see where you land with that. Hopefully this was like came at a good time, because it's a good year for you, but it's about to get rocky.
Yeah,
it's about to get rocky.
Yeah. That's kind of been how it is being on the waters. Yeah,
on the waters. Yes.
I've had some crazy, events in life that, I don't know how I got through that. Somebody's guiding me, helping me, nudging me down the right path to keep me safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've been aware of, I'm not exactly sure what, all this stuff means, but I know it does have relevance.
Yeah. Like just noting that Jupiter is about to move into Leo right after you get the first hit of your Saturn return. So it's going to move into your 10th house. It's going to like be trying to like build there's going to be business opportunities for you. But the fact that it's happening in the midst of your Saturn return makes me think be very cautious if what you're doing is not entirely legal. Okay, that's where there's like a lineup where it could be a big move. It could be like, oh, don't, it's too good to be true. That's the setup or something. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's the 5 million shades of gray.
The 5 million shades of gray. Yeah. Well, I mean, but you're Pisces, so you can kind of float around, man. You can float through most things.
I tend to go where I want, like any fish should,
Yeah, absolutely. Not tied down by the. Oh, where are we at now? What's going on?
Sorry, I was just doing I got the next chart ready.
All right, you guys.
Okay. You confused me a bit. What's the craziest experience you ever had in your life, Sticks?
Where to start, man? Let's see. I graduated high school. Okay, check this out. I was born in 68. I graduated in 86.
Okay.
The odds of those numbers being reversible, there's some sort of weird gematria going on there. Like, I don't know. I've freaked palm readers out. I had tarot card readers that like I could see on their face, like they know something I don't. What's going on? But they're afraid to tell me. And I was like, what is it? How can it, was there something that bad? And so I tripped on that for a long time, but I've gotten past that. It's only evil if you think it's evil, right? So, yeah, okay. I woke up in 1986 in a hospital after being unconscious for a day and a half.
Whoa.
Yeah, oh yeah, life changed that day.
From what?
That weekend.
Why were you unconscious?
I fell out of the back of my buddy's truck, who was being very kind and giving me a ride home because I was a little too drunk. We just graduated high school. It's 3 months after graduation. Was 10 foot tall, bulletproof. Man, I've been around the world twice. I know everything once. Whoops. Oh, think again, young man.
Right.
Yeah, that's just a horrible thing, Like, you wake up and you're getting questioned. You know what year it is. You know what you did. You know what day it is. It's like, whoa. Holy shit, what have I done?
So something like in August of 86?
Would have been, let's see, when did we graduate?
Something like that, right? You said 3 months after you graduated, usually.
Yeah, roughly 2-3 months. Yeah. It was summertime. We went to the drive-in. I'd gotten hammered, puked, got up, kept drinking. Ended up, face down in a mud puddle. Somebody grabs me and says, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And it happened to be Pete's truck. And they're like, "Oh yeah, throw him in the back." And so I proceeded to puke in the back of his truck all over myself. I should have, if nobody was around, I would have drowned in my own vomit. And I should have just drowned in a mud puddle. Like, I don't know how long before that. Right. So he stops at the car wash on the way into town, wash me off, so he can take me home in presentable fashion, wash off his brand new truck because it's 1986 and he just got it for graduation. And I'm like, God, I'm such an asshole. I puked over his brand new truck. But you know what I mean? He wasn't pissed about it. It's like, I was on the tailgate of his truck. He just washed us all off and he was going over to hang up the wand. And I just stopped talking in the middle of my, typical comedy routine. And it's just like crack. I fell off the tailgate of his truck, and it's all jacked up, lifted. The tailgate would hit you about, solar plexus. And he said that was just like the worst sound he's ever heard. I had 32 stitches. My blood alcohol was 0.275 when the paramedics picked me up on a Friday night. And I did not become conscious until Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. I was not in my body. I could see my whole body. I could see the whole bed. Like I was up in the corner where you would mount a camera.
Yeah.
We didn't have cameras back then.
Did you have the light? Did you see
Oh yeah,
inside?
yeah. I was going towards the light, and there was arms coming out trying to grab me and pull me back, saying, "No, no, it's not time. You can't go now. Get back. Go back." And it's like a reoccurring dream. I don't know if I'm floating, falling, swimming, sinking. Too many emotions at once.
Yeah. I mean, you had a pretty wild alignment. Pluto was in your first house. This was like a part of a would have been about 12-year transit of Pluto through Scorpio. Okay. You had Mars was retrograde at the time, was moving retrograde through Capricorn for half that year during that whole summer, opposing your moon, right? Which can relate to bodily health. And then your sun was being exactly squared by Uranus at the end of the summer. And Uranus creates, these shocking changes can often indicate accidents, right? So did you stop after that? Was that the end of?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was about 27, I guess, before I kind of, started dipping back in.
Right. Right.
And still, it was just like a couple of beers, and I was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I didn't realize how bad I get, and I used to drink ridiculously. Like, I was trying to commit suicide by alcohol. It was an unconscious thing, but it would have killed me if I had continued that.
Yeah. And Neptune was also in Capricorn, in the sign opposed your moon. Okay. And Neptune can relate to like trying to dissolve one's consciousness through drugs, drink, whatever. Right. So, and what's interesting, so you had Mars and Neptune in the third house, which is the house of like short distance travel through the neighborhood, and you fell off this truck, so you had this Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally like within miles of my house.
Yeah. That's wild, man. But you made it. You survived. You're here. You survived the Federale.
It took years to figure out all the crazy shit that occurred that night. I'm still not aware of everything. Like,
And you have
wild time, the 80s.
You have Neptune in your first house too. So there's the, you've had a near-death experience, or an out-of-body death.
More than one.
More than one. What else?
Well, like having pneumonia. I'm not supposed to remember being 2.5 years old,
Right.
But I remember being in that oxygen tent, boy in the bubble,
Yeah.
Traumatic, dude.
Totally. And so Neptune is water, and you have this really difficult grand T-square between Neptune, Jupiter.
Yeah, my kite. Yeah, I like the kite.
Well, there's the kite, but there's also the red triangle you can see, which is focused, which is part of the kite, right? But it comes off. It comes off where you've got Jupiter and Neptune tend to work together. They tend to want mystical religious experiences. But then they're both, in a hard aspect to this Mercury-Venus conjunction you have in Aquarius.
For sure.
So, and yeah, very interesting. And so your 8th house of death is ruled by Mercury in that T-square of water, right? So the dangers of water in your lungs,
Well, that's like pneumonia. I mean,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was getting to.
Had to have a dehumidifier and a humidifier.
Wow. That's heavy. It's heavy. But
controlled environment, which was what my specialty was in the grow rooms.
Right. You're the boy in the bubble again in a grow room.
Yeah. I was strict about having quarantine zones. Like, you don't go into that grow room with your street clothes on. What the hell is wrong with you?
Wow. And Mercury is the lungs too. Mercury rules the lungs, by the way.
And I had asthma. I had asthma for most of my childhood, and I seem to have grown out of it.
Well, you grew out of it? You grew plants that cure your asthma? Is that what you're saying?
Something like that, kind of, yeah. Because I smoke ridiculously way too much to have these healthy of lungs.
Well, like I remember, I don't know if it's a fact.
I mean, tobacco as well as mostly I try to do hash, but every now and then I still partake in some flour.
Gotcha. yeah. Do you have any other questions about what's going on for you? Your
No, just super stoked to get on and hang with you guys. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Cool.
Radical, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. I think it's interesting to hear about your life, and I know I'm a Pisces too, so I think some of those things were familiar in a weird way. I think maybe you're a bit more Pisces than I, because I'm a bit Aquarian also. I'm born right around the cusp, so
is
both of them.
He's got Mercury and Venus in Aquarius, and you got Mercury in Aquarius, so you guys do have a pretty similar thing.
And
but
both.
I kind of always have dug Andreas and the way you think and the way you approach things is yes, we seem to be very like-minded.
I can see that.
You had awesome stories, and I hope you'll come back on once you're in the midst of your Saturn return and let us know how it goes. How that's going.
For sure. Well, I'll try to take some notes.
Great. Wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. See you soon.
Yep. Cheers. Hey.
All right.
That was great. That was a great first chart. That was exciting.
All right, Will, tell us David Koresh's birth chart.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Well, also just so you know, Arena, a friend of Raf's, is here, friend of mine as well, friend of ours, and so she might come in. I just have her chart ready, so whenever she shows up, we might read it like live too. But yeah, go on, man.
Do you want to do David Koresh's chart? That would be.
I kind of want to do yours first, but if you want, we can do.
I don't know if I remember. I think Noah asked me what time I was born, but I can't remember exactly what time.
Oh, I've got it somewhere for sure.
One second. Okay.
Cool. But bro, though, I don't know. Like, David Koresh had theories about his own birth that it had something to do, because I think it was in 1963 or 62. He was 33 and 93. So what does that mean?
Well, I'm sure we can find his chart online. If you just search David Koresh's chart, I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure.
Well, that would be interesting, because it would be like, I've never even thought about that. My own chart is July 25th, 1958.
I've got it here. You don't have to dox yourself. I mean, you can.
Don't dox. No need.
Will, would you be like weird about letting us, like, while he finds your chart, Arena's here, so we'll let her do her chart until you find yours?
Sure. Well, I've got it right now. I have it right now. We already have him up. Let's just do this.
No. Wait, for reals.
Yeah, come say hi. What? Yeah, well, because she's literally physically in the studio.
Hello, how are you?
let her go. Noah, put me on hold and think about me, right. and I'll be back. I'll be sitting.
All right, watch one battle after another again. In the meantime, and then we'll talk.
Well, since you're here, hold on. I'll try to like. There's got to be a way to like make it. Oh man, it's like glitching.
No, don't worry, it's fine.
All right, well, this is.
No, come on back.
Yeah, they want you to sit here. Okay.
All right, well, it's beautiful, but come on.
We'll see you soon. We'll get you right back. Okay.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Yeah. Hey, here, and then you should probably be able to listen. That makes sense.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's your name again? Sorry.
Hello, I'm Irina. What's your name?
Noah.
Noah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure. Is Andreas gonna kick your chart up here?
Oh, can I have one ear so I can know what you want to? You take that one. Oh, well, actually,
kick the chart
maybe
up.
It makes more sense if you take that one. Sorry. Okay.
This is so cute. You guys are sharing your phones. This is so fun.
This is yeah. I mean, if it's a health concern, I don't know, but here's the chart, right? This is your chart.
Looks familiar.
Yeah. Okay. So this is her chart from Bucharest.
Oh, so we're okay. All right. Just give me a second. My goodness. Well, you got a very interesting.
Look. Hey.
This is adorable. So we just had a chart which was the Uranus-Pluto conjunction, which was like once every 200 years, something like that. Now we've got the Uranus-Neptune conjunction again. So he was born under one of these major alignments that happened in the past century, and you were born under another one, the X-Files alignment. This is the X-Files here. That's what this is. The show started under this like Uranus-Neptune conjunction, and you have it on your midheaven. So it's like a generational thing, but it's very important for you. It's your work. Like, what do you do for work? What is weird and eccentric and mystical about the job you do?
Oh, wow.
You just kind of like defined it. That was pretty good.
Oh, wow. I just want to make the world a better place. This
Okay.
is my mission, and I try to do it in different ways. But this is my ultimate mission, and everything what I work is should be leading to that.
Do you
Okay.
want
So
to tell
you're
them the name of your foundation?
Oh yeah. I just created my first own organization, which is called the Vienna Institute for Space Ethics.
okay.
So
For
I
space
will
ethics. Oh, now
work
I'm being held
on.
to a high standard here. I have to see if it's ethical or not. I'm trying. So what do you
Yes,
do? What is this?
you feel me. No, so I want to like the newest project, and I'm also curious if you can say something about it, if it's under a good star, but it was really, it's just a newborn from this year. And it's basically about human rights in space. So I want to be an advocate for human rights in space.
Inner space, outer space, meta space,
Yes.
cyberspace.
But actually, yeah, but I really like to go like to the stars, you know?
I see. Well, we this episode has been drug heavy so far in stories. I think that's your quickest path to the stars. But okay, so you've got like two of the outers, right? Now we don't know about. Well, at least I suspect that like there were like mystery schools and such that knew about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto way back, and I keep finding inclination, but whatever, separate issue. But you know, until we get to a point where we have telescopes and we are moving into the space age, can you even see and even know them? And you have a conjunction of two of them in Capricorn, the sign of like building structures and, you know, stable structures on the midheaven. The most elevated planets in your chart are Neptune and Uranus,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, which are beyond Saturn. And if you go to like a lot of the esoteric traditions, you have to get past Saturn to get to the stars. Saturn is the boundary. You know, that's the final light in the sky that we see that moves, that that is the boundaries and is the structures. And you have to
That's the
like,
thing.
there's a lot of traditions that appease Saturn in order to get to the stars. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
your midheaven is on, oh gee,
Mm-hmm.
10 degrees midheaven. Now I need to know what star your midheaven is on too. We need to know that. Give me 1 second here. Oh, actually I'll do it this way. I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, so 10 Capricorn. All right, so at 9 Capricorn,
Raphael just gave me these cool glasses.
sorry, I can't see. I'm on another page. I'll have to pop this up to get. Oh, that is dope. See, that's the space age. This is a man who can think of the
He's
stars.
my man. He's my man.
Here, do you want to wear
Oh,
space
yeah.
glasses? Here.
Whoa. Okay. I'm just popping up sort of my list of. Okay, so on 9 Capricorn, what do we have? Lambda, Corona Australis, Alpha Scutum. These are very southern stars, but yeah. Eta, Corona Australis, Bier. Okay. And then at Capricorn 10, we have Theta Sagittarius. Okay. Capricorn 11, which is a little further out. Okay, not really any notable stars. Okay, interesting. Well, Sag, so where's Theta though? Oh man. Sorry, I hope this isn't boring. Show your
No,
class.
don't worry. Take your time.
Yeah, maybe just explain. So what you're doing is you're trying to find the midheaven and these points for.
Yes.
Well, the
I
stars
can
specifically, because she said she wants to go to the stars. So
Yes, I know, but I am in many times. I know I am in my own way, you know,
mm,
and I really have sometimes, you know, I don't know how to overcome some of these things. Maybe with the help of other people.
what things are you trying to overcome? What are you trying to overcome?
I don't know, like some fears or insecurities, and I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't want to be. I really want to. I'm in the business spirit, you know, taking risks and going for the most crazy ideas because I know these are the most successful.
Yeah. Well, so okay, so you're ruled by Mars, and you have Mars in in Pisces with your moon, and Mars and the moon can create a lot of fear, right? Like obviously you've had a lot of bad experiences that have given that fear to you, And moon in Pisces is lovely in that it's open to ideas, open to the mystic, open to the mystical. But you've obviously had a lot of experiences which have kind of shown you that it's not always safe for you. And you've got Venus in Aries, where it's not quite in its own decan. It's in that middle decan, but it's rising. Venus has just crossed the horizon when you were born. Beautiful morning star. Wow, almost at its furthest, distance from the sun. So it's about to start overtaking the sun. It's at the end of its like retrograde cycle. It's probably just stationed direct not too long before you were born. So this beautiful morning star, right, just rising as you're born, with like a moon, a waning, just past the half moon. Like, it was a beautiful sky when you were born, for sure. Saturn was up there, Mars was with the moon.
I love the night. I love this hour, I love this star and looking at the stars, and because I was born in the night, and I love to be awake at this time, and also to watch sunsets and all these things.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, your Taurus sun.
Sunrises also.
You're saying you were a godmother now, and that your family member was recently baptized.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, the whole Christian thing is that they knew that the Messiah was born because of a star, right? They were like, the Magi were following the stars, right?
That's true.
Yeah. And your Taurus sun, so obviously it's like you're very sensual, very much about like what's comfortable, what's enjoyable, what's pleasurable. And so you're in like a sextile pattern with your sun and your moon, very tight. So, your inner world and your creative spirit work together really well, except you've also kind of got Mars there, making it complicated and difficult. And the fact that you're born in this generation with Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, all in Capricorn, means that building structures for you is difficult. But you have like a bonus, the fact that it's angular, right? And Saturn's ruling that whole thing. And Saturn is tied in with your sun and your moon. Like, you've got a trine from Saturn to your sun and a sextile to the moon. You have a lot of capability of and then you have that exalted Jupiter too, but it's with Chiron on your IC, opposing this. So what is it about your family life that led to making it so difficult for you to achieve your goals? Because I think you had a supportive family, I believe.
Yeah. It's not the family life that is keeping me back, I think.
No, like, but you weren't born to the right class or the right caste or something.
I think I have the best conditions.
Okay. So this is your like exalted Jupiter on your IC in Cancer. It's the fact that Chiron's there and the fact that it's opposing Neptune and Uranus, which is what I'm trying to figure out why it looks.
Can I say something? Because I think because you talked about something generational, and there is a thing. 1 year ago I changed my name, my surname legally, and I changed it in order to wear the name of my mom and my mom's side of the family, which had also quite like success stories. And I was just wanting to step into that energy, from that side, because I was very much in the energy from my father's side for like the past 15 years, let's say, something like that, or 20 even, like more 20 years. I was embracing one side of my identity, and now I go to the other side, which is very much connected with the.
And has life felt easier moving over to your mother's energy?
It's a new, I think it's a very different energy, because I can say it. I mean, I can tell you the two backgrounds that I have. So my father is a gypsy.
Okay.
And my mom comes from an aristocratic family.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So usually we would do like the 10th house, the midheaven, is your father, and he comes from an aristocratic family. Okay. So it's Capricorn, which is really all about these ancestral structures. and you have Saturn there, powerful, ruling it, right? Like ruling this midheaven. But then there's Neptune and Uranus. So the question is, why did your father pick a gypsy mother, right?
No,
so
isn't it the
It
other way?
was the other way. It was the other way around.
Oh, sorry, what?
Yes.
The father was the gypsy family.
Oh.
And the mother was from an aristocratic family.
Oh, okay. Because they're both complicated. Okay, so
Yeah, exactly. They are both, yeah.
so the father was the gypsy, which this is so like, so I was seeing the mother as being sort of signified in your father's house as the Uranus Neptune conjunction, but that's actually signifying the father. And yet what? So he was powerful then. He was ruled by Saturn. So, and then the aristocratic family is the Cancer, the exalted Jupiter in Cancer on the IC. That's your mother. Okay,
Yes.
so you see the power there of a powerful family, Cancer in the
Yes.
family, but there's Chiron there. So,
Yes.
sort of to get to the same issue, but sort of flip it a little bit. What was the
Mhm.
wounding from her family that caused her to go so far outside of their lineage? Because Chiron is there. You know, she did the shocking thing that I'm sure her parents didn't approve of.
Yeah, that's true. She was in love.
Because
She
he's
still
powerful.
loved him.
And your father's powerful, right? Saturn in Capricorn. He's very powerful, but he's different. He's eccentric. There's something different.
Yes, exactly.
And Uranus and Neptune together actually really describes the gypsies. Capricorn, not so much, but that Uranus-Neptune conjunction is really fascinating. You know, moving around, doing the more mystical thing, doing the more eccentric.
Yes.
And really, gypsies moving through town is a Neptune-Uranus conjunction. You know, it's like this shocking mystical thing coming in, shaking up the lineage. And you know, but your father was powerful because you have Saturn there and it's 10th house. That's how your father was powerful enough to be able to get the aristocrat's daughter.
Exactly.
You know, if it was just Neptune, Uranus, he would have kept moving along.
Exactly.
Interesting. Huh. And did she catch a lot of flack for this, or how did that shape up?
Yes, the whole family was against that.
Yeah.
Only except of her grandmother, that was very religious. So she insisted that she stays with the man.
Because
So she was the only one who supported my dad.
because she got pregnant before they were married. Is that
No, just because it was the man, like the first man, you know, that she was
okay?
with.
And so, were you accepted by this family? Are you comfortable with them?
I had the difficulties in my life from my grandfather's side, from my mom's father. He let me feel that he wants to get out the, you know, the wild side from me. You know, that he wants me to behave like a princess, you know, like because it was visible on me, you know, that I was dark compared to the rest of the family who have all blue eyes and are blonde, you know. So as a kid, I didn't understood it. I just felt that it's not right, that he's doing me injustice, you know, by how he's treating me, being so strict, you know, that I always have to behave like perfectly. But I was just a kid, you know, you cannot just, you know, but now I understood it later, and I also forgave him, and now he's an old man and he's my granddad, and I love him, you know. But that was part of growing up and realizing, you know, also like understanding more how my dad felt, you know, in the situation, that it was very hard for him, but he still managed.
Well, that's interesting too, because in the past year you went through your Jupiter return. So this understanding of your mother's lineage and dealing with it and coming to terms with it was part of your Jupiter return. And then also it's interesting that you have Venus rising. So the beautiful morning star, right? So you can be very beautiful, but but Venus is considered in detriment in Aries. So the fact that you look darker became an issue for you. It was part of your visage, your face. And not even realizing it. So that's sort of coded into your chart too.
Yeah, not for me, for others, it became an issue.
No, I know.
That's the thing.
I get what you're saying. And Venus rules the descendant, which is how other people perceive you, right? Like that's where you get energy in from other people. You're trying to project out as an Aries with Venus rising, right? And other people are seeing something different.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And another thing too, which is kind of really interesting, is your idea of like, so you're still living this gypsy archetype, but now you want to go to the stars because you also have this aristocratic background. So you're like, no, I have the power and the capabilities to go to the stars. I'm not just going from Romania.
Actually, yes, but actually the stars idea, I mean, this is not a new idea that like going to the stars, this is a back, and actually our ancestors, they were following the stars and they were led by the stars, and the stars was their map. This is how they navigated through the world and through life. So it's very connected.
Yeah, totally.
But now I really want to step into this power to actually have a change, not just because, being in the role of the gypsy is also very much connected with victimhood. And even if I don't feel like a victim, it's always, coming back to that, especially in activism, and now I don't want to okay, I dealt with it a long time of my life, and now I just want to not deal with the past anymore, but with the future.
Yeah. So what are your ideas about going like what was it? Space
ethics.
So what are your space ethics then?
Yeah, just to make it right, there are so many human rights organizations on Earth, but there are not so many like already focusing on what will be when we will be living in outer space, and we will have access to outer space, or will we have access? We don't even know. So I'm asking these questions, like who will have the power to go anywhere out of the stratosphere, or I don't know, So yeah, I started to ask myself these questions. I like science fiction. I would love to be the first gypsy in space. I don't mind, Anyway, yeah, so I wanted to create something which is a bit more future oriented, And I was thinking, okay, we had so many opportunities on the Earth, and it didn't work. So maybe if we start early, we can do it right when it comes to outer space. I mean, I know it sounds quite idealistic, but that's how I am, and that's how I tackle the things.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm pretty skeptical anyone's ever going to space, but
yeah, they do. We can tell that space is fake.
This is another topic, But in the end, if it's fake or not, it doesn't really matter, because the people are still talking about, and it's about also the philosophical aspect of it. And you cannot apply, you don't have to apply it only to the outer space. You can apply it to any kind of space. So this is a very nice thing about the word space.
Cyberspace for sure is, everyone's in cyberspace right now.
Exactly. It can be any kind of space.
There's a lot of space inside your body. You're in a safe space. The word space is a pretty ambiguous term that can mean a lot more things, especially in terms of if there's anything about space time.
Yeah, but why do you think I chose that, for my institute? Because it's a good word, yeah.
So Pisces, I mean, I'm gonna space ethics, but also, space. What else?
Space. Meta, Meta was taken.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific questions about what's going on, what's coming, anything?
I am curious about one thing, because one other astrologist told me about this kind of the places on Earth where you would be most successful, or where you should spend some time of your life. And I don't know what you think about that, or if you see anything there, or.
Yeah, we can do that if Andreas, if you want to hop on and get to astrocartography. We've done it before.
Good to see you again. All right. So where do you want me to go again? Sorry.
Astrocartography. If we go to AstroSeek.
Cartography. Okay.
No, don't go to AstroSeek. No, go to AstroSeek. And then.
Wait, what? Oh, in the section. Okay.
Yeah. Up top. If you go up top.
Astrocartography.
They're right there. You can see it right there. Okay, so we already have our chart. Okay, so what do you? So you want to make the world a better place?
Where should we start? Like at the center point, or do you want?
Yeah, where are you guys right now? Where are you guys right now?
In an undisclosed location in Antarctica. No, we're in space.
We are in my hometown, actually. Like we're in
Raf's apartment in Vienna.
I spend most of my
Vienna.
life.
Okay.
Raphael. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to zoom in on Europe? We'll start with Europe, I guess. Are you thinking of going around the world, or you want to stick with Europe?
She
or
does
what's-
go around the world. This lady like travels, man. I'll tell you, it's crazy.
All right. Well, tell us some of the places you've been that you
Mm,
resonated with and why.
Actually, I have to say I love Europe. So
Okay.
I'm
Can
a
you
fan
zoom
of
out,
the
though?
European countries.
Oh, what's going on? We just lost Andreas. Uh-oh. Am I still live? Can you guys still hear me? Oh,
I
he's
blame.
back.
I accidentally pressed the wrong button there.
That was terrifying. That was terrifying.
Sorry for freaking you out. All right, so the chart here. What I put
Yeah,
that?
don't
love-
zoom in too much though, because I can't. I
Okay.
need to see where the lines are coming from. Up top, you can see the glyphs that actually
Yeah.
like relate. Okay, so yeah, perfect. That's perfect. So
Mix
what?
it up, okay.
Where have you resonated with the most? We'll start there.
I
You're
don't
back here,
know.
Campbell,
I mean, it's one thing if you live in a place, and one thing if you just visit one place.
Sure.
Because
Because
I like
yeah.
France. I like
Mm.
Spain.
Vienna's pretty sweet, but Spain is good too.
I mean, the thing is, you've got an exalted Jupiter on your IC, so you're gonna have
Is
a
there a
hard.
glitch happening?
You guys are paused.
Who
Your
do I
video-
blame for this? This is
The-
Raph's. This is Raphael's fault, isn't
The
it?
internet is.
Darn it, Raph.
Oh, he's
See,
there.
part of it is where you were born. You've got an exalted Jupiter on your IC, so you kind of have a great, and you've got Venus on your ascendant. And even though Venus isn't in the best condition, like you kind of were born in a great place. So it's kind of hard to like, well, where, like, so you, I mean, okay, can you move around, zoom out a little bit,
Yeah, well.
like, and go west. Let's go west, young man.
Oh my
Life
God.
will be peaceful there. Okay, all the way.
Oh my word!
You've got
Right away.
Jupiter- I mean, you've got Jupiter on the MC. Your exalted Jupiter becomes your MC in Alaska. Have you been to Alaska yet?
Oh no, but I would love to go there.
See, that could be a place where you could use your exalted Jupiter to help other people. I mean, that's like almost the only place. And go down, Andreas. Move down on this.
Antarctica.
So okay, so
See, I told you got to go to Neuschwabenland and you got to help the Hyperboreans from
And
the
can
UN,
you go?
which
Can
is
you
the kind
go
of
left?
stuff
No,
that
no,
you can do.
Go back down, and
All
go left.
right, all right.
Move to the left. All right, so the ascendant. Okay, so go up a little bit. Okay, so Northern California, Los Angeles would be good. Go up.
Oh,
Okay, this is where you're gonna have Jupiter on your ascendant. This is another place.
BC,
A lot of good.
BC.
No,
British Columbia.
that's her
cool.
son.
I haven't been there on the
That's her son on the ascendant.
West Coast.
So, and going up through Calgary too. If you want to go to Canada, Calgary would be good. Greenland, you could go help either, Trump take over Greenland or defend against Trump in Greenland. I don't know which side you're on.
Oh my God, we're getting some glitch in the signal here. Let me disconnect my phone from the Wi-Fi. This
Can you
house
guys
wasn't meant for this.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, you said Greenland or something? Did you?
Well, Greenland, yeah, your ascendant would Jupiter would be on the ascendant. Like
What
Los
about
Angeles.
Iceland? I like Iceland.
Iceland is like okay, go up.
Greenland's
Andreas.
underrated, to be honest. I think we should
Mm.
take it over.
Yeah,
Nothing. Yeah.
So your
okay.
sun is on the IC, which is kind of interesting. Like maybe Iceland would be very comfortable for you. It'd be like Turian. You'd like be cozy and
It's very peaceful country,
yeah, that makes sense to me.
There
But
are
in
a lot
terms of
of
your mission, where you are is awesome. But
Yeah.
maybe Northern California, going up through, like if you see that green line that goes through Los Angeles and through Calgary,
Mhm.
that whole green line, and then maybe go east. We'll see where that green line leads.
Do you have like a flat Earth version of this astro chart?
I don't personally. Okay, so
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, it goes right through Saudi Arabia.
Ooh,
Yeah,
What?
that's interesting.
that's
And
good.
then
Give me some money.
Yeah, but
So-
it's good to know that Vienna is a place.
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah.
Because I love Vienna. Vienna is the best city in the world.
That's where you were born?
It's a quaint little town.
This is where I grew up from age 1
Nice. Oh, but where were you born then?
Bucharest.
in Bucharest.
How close is that to Vienna? I don't even know.
Yeah,
Bucharest.
I just showed it right there.
Almost
Sorry,
Yeah,
right
no,
here.
so what's the red? Okay, go up.
See right there is Bucharest.
Because
Right
you've
here.
got a red line
And
going
see over
through
here
Vienna.
is Vienna.
Yeah.
Yeah, go up. I want to see what that red line is. Go over to the right. We've got to follow that red line all the way over. Follow the red line. Follow the red line. Oh, down, down, down. Mars on the descendant. So that's interesting. So in Bucharest, you're not finding. Oh, that doesn't even make sense. How could Mars be on the descendant there? I don't know.
No, that red line's in I think Vienna.
Yes.
And then Bucharest is not on the red line.
Go down. Go down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at Vienna. Okay, yeah, it's Mars on the ascendant. So it's more, you get to feel more Martian. You have more energy in Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Sorry, it's the way it's complicated. So the other side would be the descendant, but that's your ascendant.
You should come.
Yeah.
Never been. I've never been far
Please
outside
come
of
to
the
Vienna.
borders.
You're invited.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. I've got an aristocratic gypsy inviting me. I'm coming. I'm gonna get my passport now. There you go.
Should.
Awesome. And then she's gonna take me into space. This is the most amazing adventure I'm going on. But
probably
I'm
down through
on my
Neuschwabenland.
spaceship. On my personal spaceship.
Through underground for the Antarctic.
It will be called private spaceship, like private jet, but it will be a private spaceship.
And yet here we are talking about all your astrology publicly. I don't know whether I passed the space ethics test or not. I'm not sure.
Well, so let's see. Bucharest is here, and so that green line is up here.
See, that's the MC. That's the MC Uranus Neptune conjunction she was born under, with Jupiter on the IC. So it's like where you were born is like already a fascinating place for you. But you could move Jupiter onto your ascendant or onto your MC to have more power for sure. Cool. So that's like Alaska or that line we were talking about going from California.
Nice. So yeah, thank you so much, Noah, for all these interesting insights.
I love this idea. I think having a Canadian Goy read astrology charts for a gypsy is like having John the Baptist baptize Jesus Christ. But
well, no. I swear to God, I grew up and my mom used to say we had gypsy blood in us. And
but you have traveler blood. It's not the Sinti or the Roma.
That's it. But I went around.
Okay.
I went around saying I was part gypsy, and then I was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh my God, why are you Neptune rising, my mom?" My goodness. Anyways.
No, please come to Vienna and let's continue with the nice readings. It's really nice what you do, and good luck with it. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Tell other people to watch and come on.
Ciao.
Lovely to meet you.
Thanks for doing this.
Ciao. Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. And like, also you can invite Raph. Tell him that we want to stalk him too.
All right, where's Will? Are we getting back to Will now?
We're pulling Will back in.
We're pulling a Willie. We're pulling a Willie.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Well, that was a productive meeting, I thought. So 9th of did I go too far? 9th of March, 1960. No, you have his chart, right? That was the deal?
I've got his chart. Give me a second.
Okay, I can pull it up.
Image file. Oh, it's got to go that way? I can't. 1 second. I have no slides. Share screen. That's what I want. There we go. Okay, 1 second. Why is it not showing up?
Let's see here.
I've got it. I'm just trying to figure out why.
In the meantime.
Yeah, I'm feeling this.
Here, can you share this? No, that's not gonna work well. I just realized that's not gonna work.
You got it? You got the?
No, not now. 1 second. I know what I have to do.
And if you wanna get sick today, just wipe that sinner look off your face. You hate me, cause I got all the wives, 14, 15, keeping them alive. Spiritual brides in the Mount Carmelite, ATF.
I got it.
Ready to fight.
Yeah, more chorus.
I don't know if he's gonna be happy about that, guys. They're just not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah, only OG David Koresh music on this screen. Come on, we gotta respect Will.
That Waco sound, man. Girls caress me down. Okay, all right, nobody. Okay.
Oh, the girls
Anyone?
caress me down.
Anyone?
Amazing. Oh, so
That
Will's
Waco
chart.
sound.
So we actually have Will's chart. What's fascinating is you have the lunar nodes are like right on your ascendant descendant axis. So that's pretty.
Oh, don't talk about my descendant axis like that.
Bro, it's like 2 inches from the ground, you know?
Well, his moon had just crossed the south lunar node, moving into the lower portions of the sky. So the moon is below the ecliptic, where when you were born, you're a Pisces rising, so you get to connect with Andreas on that level. He's Pisces sun, you're Pisces rising, but you also. So we were kind of like, so you've got a Mars Venus conjunction that's just set, and those nodes. It's like, so okay, so here's something I can say that I kind of know about you. That nodal axis with your ascendant and descendant. So you're a Leo sun, right? But your rising sign is ruled by Jupiter, and your Jupiter is exalted. We have another exalted Jupiter. So you're also, oh man, Jupiter just stationed on itself in your chart. Let's get to that in a minute.
What does that mean?
We'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, I'm just taking it in.
No, I want to know now. You don't.
Well, you have your
Talk
Jupiter.
about a descendant axis like that and not explain yourself, sir. I'm just kidding.
What do you want? We'll go back to
have
the
a little fun. Just sorry.
We'll go back to the notes. So you can see here how you're a Leo sun. So obviously you want to shine. You want to be the Leo. You want to be great at things, right? You want people to notice you. But your ascendant being in Pisces, which is the rarest ascendant of all, by the way. That's where the sky rises the quickest. So it's not 2 hours of time almost anywhere other than right on the equinoxes. It's warped, right? And so it's like that's the rarest rising sign. It's right at the end on Shiat, which implies like death by drowning, but also great artistic creative merit. There's Gary the alien right there. But so like being Pisces rising is such a mitigating factor to being a Leo sun. And then you've got K2, which is the south lunar node where things go back down inward. And it's in like in Vedic astrology, it's the tail of the dragon, that eats the sun and the moon. And the tail is where we give up on things and where, it sort of like sucks the life out of whatever's there. And that's your ascendant. Okay. Now Rahu is on your descendant, which is the head of the dragon. And Rahu wants more and more. It's ravenous. So it's like your chart has this thing where it's like you want to get this energy in, but it's this conflict with you and other people with how you put your energy out and not getting what you deserve back in.
That doesn't sound anything like Will.
Like Gary the Gray? No, not like Gary the Gray at all. Like your issues with YouTube and like not being seen for this amazing Gary the Gray. People, please watch Gary the Gray. A stand-up alien giving you the greatest like hardcore like 2-minute sync rabbit holes. Incredible work.
I mean, it's so good. This exists. But it's crazy. It does. But why? Because of the will, triumph of the will, Morgan.
It's like really well.
So wills.
And not only that, you've got like Pluto in your 7th house. This like which is literally like shadow banning is Pluto. It's like chthonic power from underneath that you can't see. Like literally, I'm sorry to laugh because I know it's so funny.
I'm happy this amuses you.
Yeah, and then but here's the amazing thing. So you have an exact Saturn Mercury conjunction.
You're an amusing guy.
Okay, on Regulus. Saturn is not especially powerful in Leo. Okay, it's got a hard time, but it's about to move into Virgo, or it's going to have a little more juice. But right with Mercury, and so that like Saturn Mercury aspects can imply someone who had a harder time speaking when they were younger, like a difficult time being like standing up for themselves, speaking. It can often be something like someone when they're young, sometimes it's speech impediments or just feeling restrained from being able to speak,
or just getting beaten up by ignorant racists or something like that. Also, there's like a thing that happens a lot where you're surrounded by like fucking morons. Pardon my Tartarian.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Though, like, well, there's a serious issue with, being able to inform someone about something that makes them feel like you're a threat, especially when you're younger. And
because of the Regulus, you're like your Mercury and your Saturn are right on the heart of the Lion, this powerful royal star, right? So, but anything that touches Saturn, it's like it gets better with age. It's like you improve your ability to speak, you improve your ability to like say what you need to say, right? And on the heart of the Lion, it gives your words and your ability to think and reason a lot of like power, a lot of authority. Okay. Now, if so, your ascendant, which is who you are, is on. We sort of discussed that a little bit. Is ruled by Jupiter, so it's in the 4th house. So your greatest power is being at home. You have kids, you have a wife. You've got a home. You've got this stable home. That's where your power is. But also your 4th house is right at the end of Gemini, right? Like everything. So your houses are all aligned really neatly because you're born like. What was rising is the equinoctial couleur, right? Where the ecliptic and the celestial equator line up. So everything's all right at the end. So you're like, when it comes to like Placidus versus whole sign houses, you're all backwards. Like everything's wrong. But yeah, so your powers and your lot of fortune is at home too. That's really interesting. In the 4th house, and I mean, you make these videos that you try to share, and your midheaven is ruled. Your ascendant and your midheaven is ruled by this very powerful Jupiter. But Jupiter is squared by Uranus, which makes perfect sense. You're a sinkhead, and Uranus is doing the eccentric things that are insane to everyone else. So that makes sense. You've got Neptune in Sag, which I consider to be a powerful place for Neptune, in your 9th house, which resonates with Sagittarius and Neptunian themes of like philosophy and religion. And you've done this deep work with the Koreshians, which we're all kind of interested to see where it goes. I think we're waiting. But you also were born with one of the most difficult aspects of all, which is Moon opposed Pluto. Okay, which is this tendency to live in worst case scenarios inside your head internally. And it's someone who often has come up against, especially young in youth, a lot of blocks from authority, a lot of challenges from authority that hits inside, hurts deep, and it's in your 1st house. So, you're a very emotional person, a fiery emotion, like you like Moon in Aries.
Whoa.
Sorry. Should I slow down?
No, I'm just checking. Go ahead. You were saying?
Like,
I'm a very emotional person. You were saying?
Yeah, for sure. Look, he's about to cry.
Not Will.
Just a twinkle in my eye.
Will and I can't even do reviews of dog movies anymore because we'll just cry the whole time and not get through them. So,
I love you, Pisces. I love you.
We need to try to watch Brother Bear together and just like pause it every 30 seconds. Yeah, see, look at you. I relate to that, to be honest.
Joaquin Phoenix's finest. So, I don't know. You're kind of creepy. I mean, there's a little bit of bias because you do know me a little bit, and some of the things that you're saying,
which I've mentioned. I've been like, I know this about you, so I can see it in your chart, right? It's that Mercury Saturn conjunct Regulus that keeps drawing me back, and it's trying your moon, right? So there is an ability for you to get. And I mean, your midheaven is exalted Jupiter. See, the question I have is how much can we trust your birth time? Because basically 1 minute later, and you have Aries as your rising sign. That's
what would be the difference in the change there?
It changes your whole chart. It changes your whole chart. I mean, I happen to think you're Pisces rising. I think that makes more sense for your chart.
Okay.
What I know about you, not your chart, but what I know, how I know you. I think you're probably Pisces rising. I think it's correct, but it's just it gets tricky because when your rising sign changes sign, and because of the way it's aligned for you, like most of your houses in Placidus are going to change, and in whole sign, when your rising sign changes signs, every house changes. So the significations of everything in your life that we would try to delineate are altered, right? But I mean, I'm going to go with it. I'm gonna go with it. I mean, what questions do you have? Oh yeah, this is where I wanted to go. You had Jupiter stationing right on your Jupiter return, which is a deep and especially because, as far as I'm concerned, Jupiter rules your ascendant, which is your identity. You know, the biggest signifier in your chart of who you actually are, who your identity is, and your midheaven, which is your most public status, right? It's career. It's not your job, but it's your career, right? So how has the past, and I want to just get you sort of refine the date a little bit more. So your Jupiter's 21. So we'll go to 1 second. So October is you would have had your first Jupiter return, and then January just passed, and now in May you're going to have your final hit. So Jupiter return tends to be like a comeuppance of your understanding, your wisdom. You know, often it can come with deep revelations about what you've been through in your life and how it affects you moving forward.
Oh. But I mean, Jupiter is also like benefit, right? Beneficial,
usually, but not. I mean, it can also lead to like overindulgence, you know, and like it can also, it can, especially when Jupiter returns. So like someone who's an addict of some source can have like really bad relapses during like Jupiter returns, just as an example.
Okay. Well, I will neither confirm nor deny that I would have had relapses in those time periods, but duly noted.
but more importantly, it's like we're looking at like, was there wisdom gained from the lived experience? That's the like higher level of what the Jupiter return is. Where Saturn returns are more well known for like, what have I built in the outer world, and are these structures sound and stable? The Jupiter return is more internal and more like am I serving a higher good or not, you know?
Fascinating.
How does it relate to his family, you know, in terms of his building? You know, he built a pretty good family. I think his family is pretty strong, considering, you know, his content is really strong, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a lot of fortune and Jupiter in Cancer in his 4th house of family. So, like, yeah, of course, like, family is going to be a strong point. That's going to be the easiest thing for you. Aside from the fact that, you know, as far as I'm concerned, your IC, which is the house cast, was ruled by Mercury. So it's like a challenge to keep it together there because Mercury is with Saturn, you know, and so there's like a challenge to make things work. Like, I mean, this is so general. Like, you can say that about anybody, but the point being is that like you have it in your chart that the potential for a solid family that works, you know, is pretty solid in your chart. But that's separate to like your Jupiter return, which is like, and so you've had kind of like the second phase of it, which would be the more difficult part of it. And then you're going to go through the third phase, which will be like really a summing up of these themes in your life in this time. And in general, like the past year would have been a good time for your family. It would have been a good time to be at home, comfortable in your home.
Well, it has been.
But meanwhile, I mean, you just had Saturn moving past your ascendant, which is like a restriction and a straining of the energy you're putting out into the world. Okay. And so, I mean, right. I see that with the frustrations of like your videos not taking off the way they should. That's
well, I mean, there's more. Well, I'm not really worried. I appreciate you say that. I appreciate that you notice that I have been shadow banned. Mm-hmm. But I'm worried about that. It's just a lot of work. I think people don't understand like the amount of work one does for a video or whatnot. And people are actively trying not to watch. Like even your friends and family. Like I don't post the videos on, say, Facebook, because what will happen is like, you know, Aunt May will be like, oh, I'll click this video, immediately be confused by the house, and then
alien
click off.
Why are you talking about cartoons?
Right, and that hurts like the algorithm. The thing that sucks about making, I think my my favorite videos that I've ever made have been ones that, you know, like they get pulled down because of copyright or whatever, because they're more artistic or whatever. Like, but you can't make videos like that, and because it's not what YouTube wants. And so there's a lot of like molding myself to what's needed, or just to make content, because otherwise it's just me making these videos that nobody watches, where it's like, you know, LCD sound system and all Mel Gibson movies mixed together, which I think is a better way to absorb. I mean, it's kind of like it's like very inspired by like David Plate, right? You know, how you have to like watch the media or watch the video or whatever, but that doesn't mean the algorithm knows what we're doing, you know? So like there has been some frustration with that. There has been some frustration with the non-supportive nature of syncheads in general. Most of us don't watch other guys' material because there's just like there's a lot more ego with sync than people realize, because like you're discovering these secrets that nobody knows, right?
And you don't want anyone to think you got your ideas from somebody else.
Right. You didn't steal your jokes, so to speak.
Which is hilarious, because sync is the idea of connecting things together, you know? So shouldn't we all be working together? Shouldn't we all be like thrilled about other people?
But what ends up happening is like you're writing, or like one of the best things that we did that was people working together was Joe Alexander's 9/11 video. Now he had absolutely like editorial control over it. But there was like a year period where he ran a Facebook group and was like mining things that people said. Now, some of the things that people said publicly and information given to him, he either already had or didn't even make it into the video. But he put the people's names up on the back of the video anyways. And so even like with the 4 million, 6 million views that he got out of that really doesn't do you much good. Like nobody's knocking on your door saying, hey, make another Back to the Future.
CNN wants you to come. What happened on 9/11? Okay, can we talk about Back to the Future? Let's go.
But the work we're doing, what sync is way more important than like the popularity or the trendy nature of what sync is. Sync is really never caught on super uber trendy with anything other than sync heads. But it has like the potential sitting there waiting to change the way that it's almost like finding out the world is round, right? It's like all of a sudden it will change perception.
Or flat.
If like it's a pretty dope way of looking at the world. And you know, I understand that it's going to be hard to like push that propaganda without any extra help. Like we don't have like Roger Stone or somebody who's trying to, or Edward Bernays who's trying to make sync a household name. But I think that a lot of individuals like Andreas, we've gone back with like we might not support each other, but we've definitely like taught each other, right? Andreas figured out like the social media aspect, or like the least of live streaming, very quickly.
I've tried to be your bra support network to carry the weight on your chest.
But it got me paid. Like I got paid by another person who saw like a meta egg and was like, hey, I took almost like a year off to like run these scenarios and businesses through a sync lens. You know what I'm saying? And like, so something came out of it regardless. And like right now, overnight, when I put up the TikTok, if I am moving, because I got a whole bunch of shorts now. Took me years to make them, but I got a bunch of shorts now. So I'm putting those up on TikTok. During the sync tank, we had 1,000 views. When I woke up this morning, it was 10,000 views. And really and truly, that sounds like it's a lot, but it's not going to do anything for you. Like even if like a lot of people said it's like a full-time job making videos and making content and playing the algorithmic game, but it really doesn't pay very well for how much like effort you put into it.
No, No. And I mean, your second house of money, okay, is ruled by Venus, which is in fall in Virgo in the 6th house, even worse, right? Like, so yeah, like you don't have a chart for making money, unfortunately. That's not.
Yeah, tell me about it. God damn it, man.
But you've got like a
Let
blessed
me help
chart
you
for
all.
having a family. Isn't that better? Isn't the money just to take care of the family?
Yeah, I mean, they're just after a while, hardship kind of does wear on your.
Yeah, but can you even imagine a
So
will that has an expensive hot tub? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, I can't imagine Will with a boat or like a boat house. You know,
Well,
like,
I can imagine him with a hot tub. It would be a time machine. We all know where this goes.
yeah,
I
he
can
can convert the
imagine
hot tub
myself
into
with
something.
all
useful.
those things.
All right.
See, it makes me wonder if your midheaven isn't actually in Capricorn, like you weren't born a minute later than the time you have, because then that gives you that Mercury rulership on what you're, or sorry, the Saturn rulership with Mercury, which it does imply sync work, right? Like Mercury is connecting all these things together. Saturn is the lord of time, and sync is very time dependent, right? When certain things happen in time, and yeah, I do wonder about that. And then you would be an Aries rising, okay? And you're not despite being a Leo sun, you're not particularly fiery, as I know you, despite having a lot of fire.
Oh, I can be. I mean,
I bet. But
see, you said this whole thing about communication. I've had to do a lot of work on like not being cryptic, being short, like doing the videos and everything, like learning how to get your point across in 1 minute, whether I'm doing it myself or if I'm telling an AI to do it for me. Like you can't do too many words. You have to have the right pacing. You have to be really well versed on like how music fits with video and stuff. And like, yeah, like I've had to become a good communicator, but it was like a really difficult thing for me to do because initially, like I said, I think that there is like a little symptomatic thing going on with sync heads. I think we have like there's it's schizotypal personality disorder has a symptom of people being cryptic, and I don't know how many fucking sync heads you guys know, but they're kind of poets, and that the way that they communicate with each other, right? Or the way that they talk is like this shorthand of like symbols, but they talk like everybody knows what the hell they're talking about. And
Yeah,
don't
like
believe that?
Sync work is dream logic,
Right,
and dream
absolutely.
logic is poetry. So yeah, of course.
Yes.
So you're working entirely in the dream realm, in the poetic realm, really.
Right. They're very highly symbol literate people that often, but I'm basing this off of like taking notes when I meet a large group of sync heads, and I'm like, wait a minute, like all of them kind of dress weird, like or have like a quirk of the way that they present themselves.
Sure.
Like I know that David Plate, if you've ever met David Plate, you'll know this about him immediately. They're all kind of eccentrics,
No, not David. Come on.
Right. And then the way they dress though is often with like older clothes or backdated clothes, or they'll have like a quirk of dress, like they'll have on leopard print shoes or a really like almost anime-ish type like military jacket.
Sometimes they have flaming skull jerseys. You never know.
Right. That's a good point. But I've taken that and kind of leaned in, with the clothes and everything and the quirky dress and the over uses of like symbolism and stuff of that nature. Oh,
I was just trying to look for some quirky outfit. You kind of look like what Mr. Rogers looks like when he gets inside of his house.
Exactly. That's kind of forced. Like the way that I talk, the way that I present myself in public, or the way that everything like that is almost going against my nature in a lot of ways.
I was worried about it. I'm like, because if that's quirky, like, dang, dude, then all of a sudden,
I met my wife doing karaoke. Like, I mean, and to me, that's like a very Leo-esque thing. But you're hopping on stage, you're trying to dress like Kiss or something like that. You're trying to gain attention and you're trying to gain all of this energy. but there's something to where you've got to be able to get out the information or the energy and relay it to somebody else. And that's a very difficult thing to do. And I think that the main issue is that syncheads like overly analyze or overly think symbols, and they kind of want to mask or use themselves to hide because they think they're easily read. That's not always true. I think syncheads, like, again, I love you, David Plate, but David Plate always talks like everybody knows what he's talking about. And sometimes it's like, you got to be like, wait, what did he just say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I think a lot of syncheads overperform. They try to say too much with their words, and they try to layer it with overly like symbolist, like overly wrought poetic words, or overly like symbolic like language, or dreamlike language. So where people are kind of like in a spell of like, what the hell did they just do? But I don't think that that's necessarily healthy. I think that I had to roll back a lot of how I was talking and a lot of the way that I was presenting myself to be a little bit more practical. And that insecurity shows up into me. Like when I'm talking to people, I had to like cut it out on podcasts and stuff. I always go, does that make sense? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or I sound like a rapper, or like I'm from Wu-Tang. Nah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of times where you have to have a little bit of confidence in what you're saying and forget about, because you're saying it correctly, and forget about if the other person is getting the info, because you're not overly obfuscating your point. And I think that's the problem of syncheads is they try to like code. They're writing code, right? Because it took them an effort to figure out this code. So they want you to friggin' put in a little effort, right?
Yeah, but you've got Saturn on your Mercury, like an exact conjunction. So you're going to speak clearly and you're going to get to the point, right? Which is not always not always the purview of a Mercury Leo. Mercury Leos tend to be blowhards and go off, but you've got Saturn there to restrain it a little bit.
Oh, I can be a fucking thanks. You give me a compliment because you've never experienced it. But then in my head, I'm like, oh, I've done that.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it's like it can be it's restrained in some way. It's not out of control. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about how you're conscious of it and how you need to cut yourself off sometimes when you're on a live stream, and that's the influence of Saturn, which is something that, like, if you didn't have Saturn there, you'd have a more difficult Mercury in Leo. You know?
Cool.
And do you have any
really wild? Like, I wish there was some way that I could see your cursor when you're talking about certain aspects of the chart, because there's certain things about this stuff that I don't know.
Right.
But it always like blows on my mind. And even in the book Synchronicity by Carl Jung, he does this whole section where he's like comparing charts between married couples and seeing like the synchronicities of how they like matched up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But to me, it's very important. I think astrology, I think tarot, and I think all of these things that are highly like symbol literate divination tools are directly related to our study as far as like how pop culture relates. I mean, you can see like the movies have stars, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's literally synchronicity, right? Like you're literally looking at how does what's happening in the heavens relate to what's happening on Earth? You know, it's literally it's sync logic. It's the exact same thing. And a lot of it that a lot of people don't know is most of what we know in astrology, aside from, and a lot of the mythologies actually are this, it's literally what it looks like what's below the horizon. That's more internal, you know, what's rising. That's what's coming up into the world. You know, the two benefics are the two brightest planets in the sky, and the two malefics are the two darkest planets in the sky. You know, like all these things, it's all, what does it look like?
So we've been going for quite a while, man. I really do appreciate like I said, that's my only regret is like we got to find some way for you to point out what you're telling me, because I think it would be more useful in me.
Yeah, it's on. I don't think you can see my cursor. Anyways, yeah, you're right. Well, at any rate, the your Mercury is, so Leo is the like yellow squiggly tail on the bottom left hand side. That's Leo. It's like
bottom left hand. I mean, I know what the Leo symbol is. I
So you
see
see
it
the
right
Leo
there
symbol?
at 21 degrees. Is where
Yes,
I'm.
that's a cusp. That's your 6th house cusp. If you go right above that cusp, that's Mercury with Saturn. That's your Mercury Saturn conjunction on the.
Oh,
fixed
right there. Okay, so Mercury has like the caduceus at the top, right?
Yes.
Mercury is a cross, and then it has like a head with horns almost,
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
And then right above
the
that
horns
would be
the horns are
Saturn.
actually the sun, because it's the first planet from the sun.
So Saturn basically looks like a scythe, right?
Yes.
So right there where it says 29 degrees and 29 degrees is what you're talking about with the conjunction.
Yeah, and that's the heart of the lion. So that's like the
Fascinating.
Yeah, royal guardian star of the north. So yeah. You got any other questions or anything else you wanted to
Oh
see?
no, that was like my favorite part just then. That was like great. Cool. Awesome. Cool.
On through the other side, you know.
And we're gonna have to think about whether you're Aries rising or Pisces rising. I have so many, because if you're Aries rising, you're Mars in Virgo, right? So you're Mars, but you're a Mars that's all about the details and all about like amassing different, like what you did with the Koresh files, like that's Aries rising ruled by Mars in Virgo. So it's a whole thing. Anyways, I'm gonna think about it. We'll get back to this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
thanks for coming on, Will.
Pleasure. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful.
I'm just gonna.
Oh, you're muted, Andreas. You're muted.
Sorry, thanks for being here, Will. Will, we love you. And everybody, go to Meta Egg. Make sure that you go to Meta Egg so you can
On TikTok too. Don't forget TikTok. Blowing up on TikTok.
Tell your kids to go to TikTok and look up synchronicity from Meta Egg. You know?
Yeah, and I've done two film reviews with Will on Meta Eggs.
Yeah, we just did one recently, didn't we? With you and Alex Fulton. We watched. You kind of joked about it earlier. One battle after another. But
That's right.
All right. Well, we got Kudos next. So yeah, Will, we'll see you soon, man. Peace. All right, Kudos, you here? Are you still here? And I see Giant's here too, actually. What's up, Giant?
Oh yeah, we didn't get to Giant last time. We were supposed to do Giant.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro.
Yo.
Yeah.
I gotta put your Astro chart back in because it's been a minute, so I forget. But it's like 555 or something, right? And then Kudos is here too.
Okay, let's do Kudos, and then we'll do Giant after. And
yeah, Giant, you have to wait like 20 minutes, I think. We're gonna do one more first. Is that all right?
Oh, yep, no problem.
We'll close strong.
No problem at all.
We're doing you today. We're into it.
All right. Yeah. All right. Kudos is here. What's up, bro? How's it going?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Andreas, I love, man, I've been watching your stuff for like 3-4 years. I gotta say, you're my guy. All right, let's go.
Where are you from?
I'm from, born in Victorville, California. If you need my chart,
yeah,
12/24/1975, Victorville, California, 9:15 a.m.
Okay. Sorry. Say the year again. 12/24.
1975.
75, and then Victorville, California, and you said 9 a.m. What was it again?
Yeah, 9:15. Well, my mom says 9:13, but it was on a military base, and they wanted to go for Christmas, so they put 9:15.
Thanks for telling us that. That's going to change everything. So we got the actual thing at 9:13. Thanks for you got your mom's actually paying attention here. Oh, yeah. Someone's mom has to pay attention.
Oh yeah, she made a flight. She always told me she made a flight at the thing. They're like, oh, we just rounded up. We're just out of here. She said, no, it was 9:13. She always told me that.
Was she a Virgo?
No, she was a Cancer.
Okay, all right.
Nice,
cool.
Keeping track though.
So your 4th house is in Cancer. Very interesting. 4th house of the mother in Cancer. Beautiful. Yeah, Taurus rising. Okay, so Uranus on your descendant. First off, how many freaky people have you had in your life?
Oh my gosh. I lived in California in the 90s. My dad came out as gay, divorced. My mom went to the gay lifestyle Hollywood area.
Wow.
I was like 6 or 8 years old, so I was like invited to all that.
Dude, the 70s. Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess actually like early 1980s, like early 80s technically, right?
80s. He left my ma in the 80s, early 80s. was gay. So then he went out and he just like did the whole lifestyle. Died of AIDS
Wow.
in '94.
I was gonna I didn't know how to ask, but that's kind of what I was thinking for some reason.
Oh yeah.
So.
And he was into a lot of the Hollywood parties where even Epstein stuff is making me like, oh my gosh, yeah, my dad was into some of that kind of, not that stuff, but the gay parties that were going on.
Totally, yeah. I
Newport
mean, like
Beach and freaking stuff like that, yeah.
So
right, and now celebrities were using people like that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You've got your 10th house, which would be the house of father, is in Capricorn, and so Saturn is in Leo, where it's in detriment. You know, it's not in a good place. It's down in the 4th house. You know, so but what's freaking me out is the fact that it's squared Uranus, and Uranus can imply some of these themes of for homosexuality for your dad anyways, but outside the norm, right? So in your dad's chart, especially because of the time that he would have been coming out, it was becoming more mainstream, but still pretty taboo.
Yeah.
But for you, we can see the Uranus influence on your father through your chart, which is that Uranus right on and you're saying immediately, I asked about Uranus, and you're talking about the people your dad brought into your life because of his lifestyle. So, yeah. I mean, it's right there squaring Saturn, which represents your father in the chart, and Saturn can represent father anyways, regardless of house placement. Yeah, crazy. Okay, and then you've got Mars squaring the moon, and the moon is your mother. Both generally the moon is mother, and also in your chart, because it's the 4th house cusp. It's also your mother, squared by Mars, squared by masculine energy. Too much masculine energy, unfortunately.
And I had no masculine influences either. Again, a gay dad, my mom, and then her 5 sisters.
Ironically, I think there's I think homosexuality revolves around masculinity. So in a sense, it was as particular. It might have actually caused you to have even more masculine energy than you even realize. More than might be even average. And especially if you have 5 women in your life that are constantly in need of a male figure.
And I have a Pisces brother, a year and a half older, and he's gay.
Well, what's interesting about your chart is most of it is feminine, right? Like most of it is in feminine. Your rising sign is feminine. Your moon is feminine. Your sun is feminine. Your midheaven's feminine. Your Venus is feminine. It's Jupiter is in Aries, which is kind of the most masculine sign, and then Saturn is in Leo, which is also a masculine sign. Which is the father going after the masculine more, right? Kind of interesting. Yeah, but I mean, so you've got Sun in the 9th house in Capricorn, beginning of Capricorn, 2 degrees in. It's important for you to be, and your midheaven's there too. But obviously, you have a hard time with career, which is difficult because you have a need. A creative, your heart needs a career. It needs to be doing something important to other people. So and yet, the energy you're getting in is Uranus. Uranus was setting the minute you were born. So there's how have you dealt with that? What have you done to try and what you have a career?
Well, I made it in some crypto. So the last year I took off, and I'm in Seattle right now. Why? One of the most expensive places, but I'm taking a year here. I've been in general labor for a long time. I did do prison. I went to prison for 7 years, right when my dad died in '94. So just after that, burglary, arson, auto theft, drug possession, sales absconding, nothing like sick or anything, but.
Whoa.
And that was in Wisconsin. Because now, after I was 3, I moved to Wisconsin. Eau Claire, not too far from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Andreas, you know that area, huh?
Absolutely. I was just thinking that's crazy, man. And that's a really heavy area, obviously. I mean, people don't realize it. I guess now it's kind of interesting because since I started spending all this time there, it's become kind of in the world, man. I can go anywhere in the world and say Minneapolis and people know what it is, which is not the way it was 5 years ago, even though if you live there and about what's going on in not just Minneapolis, but the whole area to Wisconsin, Kenosha, everything the history going back to the gangsters, the prohibition, the Giants, there's just so, the Vikings, man, once you go check out the Alexandria rune stones and everything, you start to see what it's like there. It's a really crazy hotspot for all kinds of energy.
And the greatest copper of the world was in Upper Michigan, just right there. We got Rock Lake has one of the largest pyramids underwater.
Your people that were living to like bicentennials were a high number of bicentennials that were living in the copper region because the water was so good. I mean, it's an incredibly interesting place, but there's also a lot of evil, right? There's a lot of people that have come in there and have hurt people. There's been, all the underground, like homeless people that live in the underground and get picked away when it's like 20 degrees below zero and they're living in like the tunnel systems under the city. And, Jeffrey Dahmer, when you think of Wisconsin, like it's like it's not the only thing, but it's like a big thing that kind of gives you like, there's some energy there for sure. But also some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, of course. It's one of the nicest places I've ever, like the most kind people I've ever met is actually that area.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've had a couple. We had Ed Gein around here too. So our serial killers like to eat people.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you wound up in prison, you had Uranus and Neptune, that conjunction, which is very rare, right? That happened in our lifetime, which is very rare, right on your midheaven. So what you were doing in the world was not aligning with the proper energy, and so it came down upon you, right? Right on. That's crazy.
Oh, I was angry at the world.
And so it's funny. It wasn't Saturn that was restraining you. It was Uranus and Neptune. So even the outer planets were like, "No, you're done." They shut you down. Pretty fascinating. And then where did your life go from there?
A lot Christianity. I really got into the Bible at that time. Got out after I got off parole. I did a tour across the U.S. with a group on pro-life. It was called Bound for Life. We were running around just like praying at abortion clinics all over the place with tape on our mouths. And that was before like social media. Now it kind of became something else. We didn't do it back then, but so I got into the Christian types of stuff a lot, got into just got out of prison too. I got a job working for the internet, an internet company. And that's when, you used to be able to Google and find all kinds of websites on every type of information.
In that time you had Jupiter in your 7th house where energy was coming in from other people. So I guess you were meeting the people you need to meet in that time.
Yeah, I could say that. And I'm still consider myself Christian, but not all kinds of stuff. I don't believe in the Trinity. I don't believe in eternal fire and stuff like that. And I do believe that the stars have a lot to do with it. Even the stars, the tarot, even in the people bring up the scripture where it talks about, no, they were using it for a specific reason. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Well, yeah. So your Sun and your Mercury are in the 9th house of religion, right? And it's ruled by Saturn. Again, Saturn, which can represent your father, but it also represents your relationship to religion, interestingly enough. And Saturn is not in a good condition in Leo. So you can see how it's like, you're looking for religion and then you're not aligning with it. And, I don't believe in hell. It's interesting because Aries is completely consumed within your 12th house. 12th house of like it's where you go to be alone. It's your undoing. And, that's where your Jupiter is, and Aries is not on a house cusp. You can see that you have a giant 12th house. It's interesting. I don't believe in hell. So,
not an eternal hell. I mean, I do believe that, there's a place that people do, bad people do get, but not eternal. I think when Christ comes, and does that, no, the people that are in hell are burnt up and done. Like, you never existed.
Well, people go to hell within their own minds, right?
Oh,
like you can run into people,
Oh, that's a bigger hell. That's bigger hell than I think. Yeah, your own mind is.
You've got this T-square between Mercury, Jupiter, and Pluto. So there's that like your harsh judgment of religion is Pluto opposed Jupiter, and then Mercury up there in the 9th house thinking. So you're able to think for yourself within a religion, and not just go down the garden path. Yeah. And then, yeah, but I mean, you've had a rough life. Like it's obvious. Like your ascendant is Taurus, so you put yourself out in kind of an easygoing way, but it's ruled by Venus and Scorpio with Rahu. Like too much desire, too much like wanting the next thing, and doing horrible things to get it. It's there in your chart, and it's in the 7th house of other people. So like what you shared with us. I mean, it's there in your chart. And do you feel like a lot of karmic responsibility to pay back some of the things you did earlier in life?
Oh, no, not really. I do have a big thing on karma.
Yeah.
Call it karma, call it God. What you put out will come back.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely believe that. No, I think I've really come to terms with everything I have. I understand forgiveness, and I forgive. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I know we're like religion another topic, but like where you're at with understanding that it's not a Pythagorean math pyramid scheme, and that it's not about blood atonement and paying to do bad stuff, like how much it costs to do bad stuff. It's not about that. It's about jubilee and mercy and forgiveness, right? Getting what you don't deserve because debts are being cut off. That's a huge step. That's a huge, pivot towards the right direction, at least. It's key.
What's your creative outlet?
I don't know. Again, even career-wise, in the last 10 years, I went into the mental health field, taking care of mental needs, usually younger people, not that have, physical needs, but mentally just can't take care of themselves. So I've been in that field for 10 years now too.
Well, mental health goes to the 12th house, which we were just talking about, and it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your 12th house, and it's next to Chiron, which is the wound that never heals that you use to heal other people. That's all 12th house. That's all mental health. So there's like a potent, and that squares your Mercury, opposes your Pluto. See, the other thing is I see a profound ability for you to have some sort of creative outlet, and it's probably writing. Like, have you written your life story yet?
A couple little things. Again, I had to take so many programs. You go to jail and, drug programs and everything. They make you write autobiography types of stuff. I used to like writing a lot. I haven't done it in a while.
There's a path for you there, man. I see that. And you obviously have amazing stories to tell. I feel like you should write it, write your story in whatever form it takes. Because you've got, Moon in Virgo, which is, and in the 5th house of creativity, by the way, which is really an ability of your inner subconscious world to be able to manifest in an earth sign Virgo, this Mercury ruled earth sign Virgo. It manifests what's inner and what's hidden, like Virgo moons are really able to make these things seen for other people. And it trines, it's in this easy aspect with Mercury, which is your literal ability to write and think and say things, which is in a practical Capricorn sign, like you have, and then it's, it's also all aligned with Venus too, to make it, beautiful and aesthetically pleasing to people. Like you have a capacity for that, and it's all setting. It all needs this response from other people. Probably you didn't get that response earlier in life, and so you don't feel like it's important for you to do, but I think it is.
That makes a lot of sense. Even my mind, a lot of people will say, when I talk, I'll go on tangents, kind of an Xirtus, you kind of know that when you freaking talk, you'll ramble like crazy, and I need a focus. I need a, and writing I know does that. Writing or cocaine, writing or cocaine does that to me.
Well, the healthier path is cocaine, or no, sorry, whoa.
No, but have you done a lot of? Have you done any running or like Kundalini breathing exercises?
Oh, not the Kundalini breathing. I used to run. I used to jog. In prison, I would have to jog. And again, in prison, you can never be alone. And a lot of people wanted to jog. So I would have to jog 3 miles just to get rid of all of the other people and then jog further to get my alone time.
Wow. Crazy. Well, I mean, if you do a lot of running, you get a lot of air, and that's a good thing for breathing. And I think that's a major way for focus. So one way to do that is to run. Another way to do that is like look into some of the lion's pose, breath of fire stuff, where it's like basically hyperventilative Sikh yoga, that the Kundalini yoga, and like you can YouTube it at this point, right? Everything's everywhere. So that's something that's like really like a controlled breathing thing that you can naturally find by running, right? But you can also learn to master it, and that's a good place to find focus.
Okay.
But you said you need focus, and I misspoke, which was unfortunate. I'm encouraging people. Again, drugs for this whole episode for some reason. Focus on your life, on what you've actually experienced and what you've been through, and write about it. I think that there's this, I don't know. I just see it. I just see it in your chart. I just don't want to read your book. That's what I want to read.
All right. So how about this next year? What is this? Anything in there that is it going to be good, bad, rocky?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say from a glance, right? I'll do what I can without, because when I do a reading for someone, I spend about 2 hours on the chart before I talk.
Oh,
so just from a glance, I mean, you've got Jupiter down in your 4th house, like it's been in your interesting thing. I think it's wait, no, I'm not going to do it that way. 1 second. Where is it? Right this second. Jupiter is at about 15 degrees, so it's in your 3rd house of writing. By the way. You know, it's a good time for you to be structuring your thoughts, and then it's going to hit your 4th house. It's going to, you know, if you're having a problem with housing situation or whatever, it could be a good time for that. Or if you have a family or whoever you live with, it's a good time for that. That's where Jupiter is going to be. But Saturn is in your 12th house. Interestingly enough, the fact that you work with people who have mental illness means that you're doing Saturn's work there, you know, as Saturn and Neptune are in your 12th house. So I mean, it could be a difficult time for one's own mental health, given that alignment. But the fact that this is almost like sympathetic magic, when you're seeing the alignment of the astrology hitting your chart, and then you lean into it and you do something. So the fact that you work with people with mental illness could mean that this is a positive transit for you and not a negative transit. Okay. And then Uranus is moving through the beginning. So it's also redefining of your own self-identity, because Uranus has been moving through your 1st house for the past like 6-7 years, basically. And it's going to move into your 2nd house of money. And what's it? Yeah, I mean, again, redefining how you relate to the world, what you're putting out there. And, you know, Neptune's up here and Pluto is up in your 12th house. I mean, if your job is stable working with people with mental health, then I guess Pluto hasn't affected your career. I mean, but that's going back like 10 years almost, when it was at 23 degrees. The next year, yeah, I mean, the transits are kind of aligning with, you know, keep working with people with mental illness. That's important for you in this time. But write your story. That's my advice. Write your story, man, and it'll lead to better things moving forward.
Yeah. That's some confirmation then.
Awesome.
Well, all right. I would love it. I will let you guys move on to the next thing.
Dude, thanks for reaching out, though. And it's an interesting thing to make your acquaintance. And I hope that we see some more, maybe like in terms of the creating and writing stuff, even just like you talking and getting some of these thoughts out, like as a video, is something that, you know, if you did that, let me know. I'll definitely watch it.
All right. We'll do. Peace out. Love you guys.
Peace.
Later, man.
Ridiculous, dude. That guy's rad. That's awesome.
And now we're gonna blow things up. We gotta go straight to the Giant.
Is Giant here? Giant, I think he jumped off. So
he jumped off. Oh no, we missed him again
for a while here.
Kudos,
He'll be back, I think.
Listen, Kudos showed up just before Giant did, so I felt like we had to honor the fact that Kudos, the name came up first. I don't want this to be the 2nd or 3rd time we miss out on Giant. Yeah,
let me say if he sees the message, I should probably. Where's my phone at? I'll just text him. See if he gets it.
Oh no. I told him we'd get to him next. That's very tragic. Very tragic. I've heard that giants exist, but I've never seen them with my own eyes, so I don't know if I can trust these people.
Hop back in.
Silence.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, we never finished that song. You know, what can I do?
Is there anyone else waiting? Anyone else waiting?
All right, Giant saw the message. I think he's about to pop back in.
How about the chart? Do you have a chart already? I think I do actually.
FBI tanks rolling, but what they gonna do? 51 days, we just chilling inside. Kids and the wives, yeah, we amplify. Tear gas coming, but we got the fuel. Light it up, baby, break every rule. So the feds said, come out, I said, not today. I'm the Lamb of God, get out my way. Pulled out my guitar tip, played a little riff, and the compound burn, yeah, that's that fire.
Yeah, like, I just like to imagine it. Whoever's paid to watch me, you know what I mean? They're just like, what does it mean? What are you saying? Why is he doing this to us? Better not let him do it. We don't trust it.
I got it. All right. Here, I got Giant's chart.
You got his chart? Okay. Giant should be here in a second. He said, okay,
Yeah.
he's coming back.
Image file. 1 second. I'll pop it up and we'll start looking at it without him, I guess.
Pop it like it's hot.
Is he coming for sure?
Yeah, he just said okay, so he should be here in a second. Here, you got well, this is Willie's chart, isn't
Nope.
it? Or
I got Giants now. I just popped
okay,
it up.
cool. All right. Well, multiple shares. Do I need to
Yes,
send him a link or something? He knows where it is, so
yeah, he was already here.
he's on his way. I think he has to like pop back in his laptop. You know, he's like a father and has
Well,
a family.
he's a Cancer rising. He's too sensitive. He got his feelings hurt because I didn't go with him first. My goodness.
He's got some Capricorn energy too, though. So
A lot. Yeah, check that out. New moon, born just before the new moon.
So he can be kind of rambunctious. Some
also
Martian.
Exact Jupiter Saturn conjunction. He was born. What was the year? So the beginning. So I think it was the first hit of those 3 air sign conjunctions. The first in 800 years. Pretty potent.
There you go. We were just talking behind your back about you, bro. How's it going?
Yeah.
That's all right. I like it.
I feel like you're just like, you know, you've got like horns on your head that are like pushing forward, and you're just like a goat that's gonna knock through a wall, kind of a thing sometimes. And like you're like, I'm going this way. You know what I mean? I don't care that they're all going that way. I'm going this way. And if there's a wall in my way, I'm going through that wall. Like, get out of my way. I'm going this way. So it's like really good to go with you that direction, because it's like following a siren on the highway during a traffic jam, you know, like to just.
Yeah. I try not to be too much like that, but yeah, I guess that's
I feel like other people would say that as a criticism. I only meant it as a compliment. You know what I mean? Because I tend to only witness you when I'm going with you. So it's pretty good for me, you know. I feel like if I was going against you, I'd be a pretty dumb person, you know.
Yeah, I tend to do the same thing. I follow other people that have paved the path up the river too. So I think it's always a good route to kind of get behind the ambulance or whatever, you know.
Well, yeah, because your chart is all setting, right? Like it's almost all entirely planets that are on the setting side. Right. So it's the response you get from other people that's so important. And yet you're all Capricorn energy. So it's leader energy, right? But leader in the 6th house, which is like where Saturn joys, but you don't have Saturn in the 6th house. But it rules that, right? So there's like this energy of like just the struggle to get anything done, the struggle to get your vision. And your moon is almost new, right? But it's still waning. It's still like coming back to the sun. It's not a new thing yet. It's really your energy is very much dealing with the past, dealing with the energy coming at you from the ancestors. And yet you were born under the very first air sign conjunction in like 800 years. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the only energy that's projective in your chart. That's the only energy that's rising back from the midnight point. Okay. So it's like you're all about this new idea, seeing the future, and yet you're so restrained and restricted by the society you're born into. Like,
yeah, I got to force them all to go the right way, right?
Yeah, exactly. But every step of the way you take that people aren't with you, it hurts you really deeply because you're on that under the horizon, like setting side. So it's like you've got this leader energy, but it's still It's difficult. And the only planet that's above the horizon is Mars. So when you were born, Mars was just on the low horizon. Like if you were up high, you could still see it, right? And Mars in Aquarius looking towards the future. Very interesting. And, you know,
Yeah.
but then again,
Yeah. So,
it's,
so the Mars, sorry,
yeah.
just to interject, is that Mars, from the way that I see it, right, because I do have some understanding of astrology, is that it's saying that in the age of Aquarius, that Mars will come into my power, and then I'll have to use it. And also Saturn just moved into Aries, which is Mars, which is triggering all that to happen, so that I was supposed to be restricted until a certain moment, and then my energy can be released and it'll be like a flood, you know what I mean? But I needed to pick up all the elements that were needed to be able to deal with society and everybody else, because I'm technically, everybody in the world and society and everything is kind of an enemy of my way of seeing things and way of dealing with things and my judgment. But people need to understand that the framing is that society is actually sick. And so just because I may feel like your enemy or something, the way that I come across, or my judgment may feel aggressive or pushy or against what it is that you think is what you are, I feel like most people have put on a mask that was forced on them by society, and so therefore they're acting as an enemy of mine, but they're not really. And I had to learn, how do I get past their mask? How do I get past them thinking that's who they really are when it's not? They're just taking on these things because it's survival mechanisms in them, right? And so now the war really starts for me to take all the ways that I've learned how to deal with different people's personalities and their societal psychosis, I would say, and I can use it now to my benefit in this final war, I would say.
Interesting.
Right. And so
Keep
I have
going.
I have a lot of
yeah, I got to pull something up while you're talking.
Yeah, so I have a lot of like so I have the Kalasarpa yoga. I have a lot of judgment factors. I have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct. These conjunctions are very important. It's a very specific conjunction that happened, and it mutated into the air sign, showing that this age of Aquarius was starting to really come in. You know, like we've been on a cusp, because these ages are so long. The cusp is very big too, right? So that's what people need to understand, is that, you know, I would say that we get completely into the age of Aquarius through phases. And one of the phases, one of the real indicators, is when this mutation happened. And if people don't understand what that mutation means, is that it slipped from being in earth signs for a very long time. This is when all the presidents were getting assassinated. And these earth signs, and was always on these conjunctions of Jupiter and Saturn. It slipped into an air sign finally, and it did this little jogging back and forth. And so it was activating these air sign aspects. And then it changed from being presidents that were assassinated. They tried to assassinate Reagan and they weren't successful. And then they started assassinating celebrity. And that's why John Lennon ended up getting assassinated instead during that time. So it started slipping away from.
He was a Libra.
Yeah, and he was a Libra. And usually air signs are the ones that get assassinated. So if you look at the majority of those presidents,
Kennedy was Gemini, yeah.
Yeah, they were air signs, because there's a factor.
Is the old order fighting off the age of air coming? Is that what you think?
Yeah, and well, and air represents, you know, the age of Aquarius and air and all that stuff. It's all, you know, mercurial, you know, translation, you know, communication, all that stuff. All those factors are coming in, and so they didn't want people communicating, especially these, you know, people with a lot of power. These presidents communicate.
Sorry, go back to the other for a minute. Yeah, I'll get to that after.
The dynamic.
Sorry, yeah.
Are we switching?
I mean, it's debatable whether we're in the age of Aquarius, right? Like, there's different ways, because the equinoctial color is still very much in Pisces. Okay, so if it has to do with the sun when it crosses the equator, we're not there yet. But there's another theory that it's actually.
Oh yeah, I don't.
And if it's about heliacal
Yeah.
rising stuff, that happened in like the 1500s or something, before the whole like Renaissance and everything came about. So it's like different ways of looking at it. But like, I agree with you either way. It's in phases, right? We're in phases of moving from one age to another, no matter what. It's not like a moment it's done.
Yeah,
And
no, I look at it as, yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, a powerful thing is that the winter solstice of all things in 2020, we had our Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So regardless, we're in a 20-year phase of Aquarian age anyways. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a smaller Aquarian age we're in, but I don't really have a strong opinion about when we cross from the age of Pisces to Aquarius, because it's multiple things. You know, it's bigger than any one person to decide anyways. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, yeah. So I see it as that you can track, you know, the age by, you know, obvious. There's a few different ways, but one of the ways is that they do it by a certain amount of years, right? And then you got to minus that because we're also processing, right? So you take off that about 200 years. And that, yeah, you can get into the math and everything. Obviously, we'd have to bring all that up to get into those details, and that's not what this is about. But there's multiple factors of why I think that we are actually, I would say, dead on the cusp, or we just activated the actual age of it, but we've always been cusping. And then, you know, as that been phasing in, I would say one of the major points to look at, and we can get into this conversation on another show or whatever and get into these details, but is that movement from the earth to the air signs, which was showing this happening, because a lot of this was happening in the area of Aquarius, essentially, even though it was phasing into Libra. But yeah, anyways, we can go on and on. I don't want to get too in depth about why I believe that we're in the age of Aquarius, but
well, that stuff is really fascinating, right? Because first off, we started by this because you have Mars in Aquarius. It's the only planet that was visible in the sky when you're born, right? Is Mars in Aquarius, and it rules your midheaven. So it represents your mission in the world and your height of status, right? Now, oppose that is the first Jupiter Saturn, and the first, you know, and then it would retrograde back, and then, you know, I was born a little bit later in the year, just as they were stationing retrograde before the second. No, wait, it might have been. Anyways, sorry, whatever. One of the first ones. So, but it's opposed your midheaven. Okay, so you're at the beginning of this age of air, and then there was one more conjunction in Taurus. Okay, that happened. No, I guess it was Capricorn. It was in whatever. So. It was in Taurus, and then the new age of air that we're in, legitimately for 20 years it's ruled by Aquarius, and then for 200 years it's air in general, is right on your Mars, right? And though the Jupiter and Saturn were both conditioned by Pluto before they hit Aquarius, right? They both had to conjunct, and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction was the whole COVID thing. Right. And the opposition was 9/11. So all these things where you're talking about an evil society are very coded into this Saturn-Pluto cycle. Right. And then after being coded by, you know, deep power structures and the powers that be, that you're saying you think we're trying to prevent the age of air. There's nothing we can do to prevent it. We're in it now. Right. And it's just the beginning phases. And if it's the age of Aquarius, same thing, beginning phases. What are the new ideas that we're going to carry forward versus these more rational, scientific, materialist perspectives of the age of Earth, where we got rid of mysticism? Well, now we need to bring it back in, right? And so then in 2020, you would have had Jupiter conjunct your Mars, and then Saturn conjunct your Mars. So this would have been a big moment of redefining the work you're doing in the world, right?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I changed a lot during that time, and actually everything got activated pretty much, you know, at my midheaven, which is like basically your 40s, right? And so I had a huge leap in my finances and everything, and I got released from a lot of things that were constantly keeping me bound. Like I had this snake thing in my chart, and just, you know, there's like this garbage pail kid that's called boa constricted, and it has the, you know, the boa kid eaten by the snake. The snake is all the way around, you know, swallowed him, and he's stuck inside that. And my brother used to joke around like, "That's you, dude." You know what I mean? Like you constantly people, places, and things, and all this stuff that like it's holding you back, even though it's not you, it's the world that's doing it to you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then I felt that release, you know, in a big way, even though I've always, you know, one way or another been able to battle through any of my situations that I've gotten into in this world. But yeah, I felt a huge release around that time, and I can feel it, you know, more and more, like it's building, you know what I mean? But yeah, I know we kind of spoke about it before. I don't know if you have ever had time to look into it, but the Kala Sarpa yoga is when your nodes are, the rest of your planets are inside of your nodes, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so Rahu is the snake's head, and then Ketu's the snake's bottom, which is your north and south node. For the people that don't understand this, I'm sure we're going over their head with a lot of this stuff. But so I have this Kalasarpa yoga, which is showing the same symbology of being, those planets are under the ground too, because they're in houses that are below the ecliptic, except for you know, Mars. And then,
well, below the horizon of the Earth.
Yeah.
And below the ecliptic as well. But interestingly enough, it's where the moon would have been at its northernmost point because of the nodes.
Yeah.
So the moon would have been above the ecliptic at that time. Just kind of like a contrary.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's anyways, it's just showing that same kind of motif, and I feel like this is releasing me now at my midheaven. You know, the Mars is activated, Saturn, you know, which is my main planet, my main energy, is in Mars. It's getting activated in my midheaven. It's the, like you said, you mentioned the Mars and Aquarius and all these dynamics. So it's showing that I'm finally going to be able to have a public, have a society that's willing to listen to the shit that made me look crazy before.
Well, especially because Saturn's about to meet your midheaven. And so given the age you're at, this is kind of like the peak of status for you. Like this is where you're building up whatever your message is to get into the world. This is your best chance right now. And Jupiter is going to be right on your ascendant, right, coming up. So right now is like a peak moment for you to get your message out.
Yeah.
You know, it's a peak moment to put what you're doing out in some sort of formal fashion, however it is, right?
Yeah.
And pop up that other chart I put, Andreas. So your progress chart and secondary progressions. I don't know if you've worked with that at all. So the sort of, I use a different, this is just quickly trying to get this up, but I use a different calculation. Actually, the angles are usually about 3 degrees further than where they are right now, but close enough. So as you can see, like your progressed descendant is getting close to, it would be about 6 degrees Pisces, close to your Mars. Okay. Mars is still, so this is like, you know, 40 days after you were born, right? You get the idea of secondary progressions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and your progressed moon is in Virgo, and your progressed ascendant is in Virgo. So a very good time for you to structure these ideas, you know, put them out there in some way. And and wherever the progressed moon is in the progressed houses is really where you feel the most comfortable. It's like, okay, put yourself out there. This is the time right now. And your that Jupiter Saturn conjunction you were born under, it's moved past the perfection. Jupiter's continued to move on, but it's moving up into your first house. So if you look forward, well, it'll be a while before it gets to your first house. But at any rate, and you have Uranus right on your IC via progressions. Well, it would be a little past. That would be about 2 years ago. And, you know, your progressed sun is about to meet your descendant. I don't know. It's some interesting stuff going on in your progressions, because you were saying you felt like this was a moment for you to rise and have your work known, right? And now your midheaven is going to be in Gemini as opposed to Aries. And Mercury is powerful in Aquarius, right? So it's like, I don't know, interesting stuff.
Yeah, and so I feel like AI is a big, huge tool that would help me, especially being in the situation that you can see in my chart, that I basically like a lone wolf in a lot of ways, because because people don't want to cooperate or hear kind of the bad news, but the solution is hard work or has this certain feel to it. I mean, at least from my feeling, that's what I feel is the most turnoff to a lot of people, is that they don't want to face, and more people are waking up and the world is changing and everything. But at least in my younger years and my teens and 20s and stuff, people just did not want to face the fact, and they were okay with the way that the world was because they weren't seeing what they are seeing now. And so people are more open to it. And then now I have a tool like AI, and, I've obviously met all of you guys, and, there's a lot of different people waking up and willing to put in some more dynamic work and look at this world in a more realistic way. So it's opening up a lot of different factors that were never there and very frustrating before. And I think, the Mars in Aquarius, age of Aquarius, has to do with computers, technology, AI, all that stuff. I believe Xirtus as an Aquarius. I know he's a cusper, and
I lean back and forth, I'm in the rocking chair on that.
Well, either way, he's got Mercury in Aquarius, right? So
yeah,
he's got a profound Aquarian vibe, anyways.
Yes. Yeah, and I think everything's meant to be, and every timing is meant to be, and all that stuff. But I see this timing as
I think all of my friends like me better as an Aquarius than as a Pisces, like for sure. Like, and they're all like, and really what they're saying is like, I see the best in you. I see what you could do.
Yeah, I just think, what I notice about, because I've had more Aquarius friends than anybody else I've known. I've known an Aquarius.
Go back to his natal chart. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
let's go right here.
Yeah, thanks. Because your 7th house is in Aquarius, right? Like it starts in Capricorn, but look, the first section of Aquarius is, that's where you get energy the most easily, at the end of Capricorn through halfway through Aquarius, almost the second decan too.
Yep. Yeah, and I know a ton of Aquariuses, and I've worked with them, and some of my longest friendships and my most dynamic friendships and everything have all been Aquarius. There's just been a ton of them in my life, man. Like at least one for every date, and multiple on certain dates, So I've got to learn them a lot, and air signs. So air signs, for people out there that don't understand the charts and everything, air signs all share a planet with an earth sign, right? So Aquarius and Capricorn, they share Saturn, and Mercury and Virgo. I mean, Mercury's with Gemini and Virgo, right? And Gemini is the air, and Virgo is the earth sign. Taurus and Libra, they have Venus. So there's a dynamic where there is supposed to be in those certain aspects, there's a harmony between the elements when it comes to sharing those planets. They just do different things with them. So and I got Mercury with my sun and moon, so I feel like I can definitely understand air signs a lot. I'm always boggled by how quick wit, and just memory, all that stuff. So I can't keep up completely, but it's always been an interesting friendship and stuff with all the air.
I wouldn't say you don't keep up, but I think you do a pretty good job. We've had some pretty good sync videos that you've put together. You do pretty good presentations.
Well,
I try.
You've got Jupiter, Saturn, the conjunct in Libra on your IC trining your Mars in Aquarius. Like, I mean, you've got a pretty potent air signature right there, right? And it's interesting what you're pointing out. I'd never heard that before. I'd never thought about that the Earth and air signs are all dual rulerships of the same planets, because in like when you go to the elements, they're actually, Earth and air have the hardest time with each other, because Earth is cold and dry and air is hot and wet. Okay,
opposite.
so they're opposite. And then within like the lived experience, it's like Earth and air don't meet, right? The air is on top and the earth is below, and they don't meet. So whereas air and fire, of course, they're both masculine elements, work together. The air is fuel for the fire, and then when it comes to air and water, they work together. The waves of the ocean and bubbles in the water and all this stuff. It's actually like fire and water have the hardest time together, and then earth and air. So it's interesting. I like that. I'm going to think about this because everything in astrology is balanced. There's always this balance, everywhere you look at it. So the elements that have the hardest time are sharing the same rulerships. I love it.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting dynamics when you look at the patterning of all this stuff. I mean, they're even like the conception time for, I believe all cardinal signs are conceived in a cardinal sign, right? So it's always 9 months from that, and then you'll see dynamics within that are very interesting. Like it's a Mars and a Venus that birth or the conception dates of the two Saturns, and they're opposed to the sun and the moon, and so the opposite Mars and Venus is the conception date of the sun and the moon, right? So it's like this reversed flipping things that you see stuff. So everything's got these dynamics where it's opposing in certain ways and then collaborative in other ways. And so that's a main thing that I've always known, is that we would do so much better as a society and a world if we actually understood all the astrology, because then we can dynamically work out all the different pieces that we can play with each other, you know what I mean, and really know where we are and where we're worked best, instead of people just using ego or this or wanting money or whatever to be the reason why they want the job or want to do this or want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just not the best leader for the situation, you should just step down and let the best leader for the situation, so the dynamic of the group benefits the most, right? But obviously our society is not structured like that, so people are going to only look out for numero uno. They're only going to look out for the, them being the top dog, right? Instead of working as a pack. And so, that's another thing. I think no matter what, I've always told people there's these things that I at least can gather. Like I'm mercurial minded and all that stuff. And I do have some air aspects, and I can think deeply, but I take longer to think about it. And I really dive down. And I think that there's just a matter of fact of certain things that are just going to come out no matter what over time. There's nothing that's going to ever hold it back, just like the seasons are always going to change and all these certain things. I know for sure that humanity is going to, whether they do it kicking and screaming and crying, they're going to get to a point where there's not going to be money as we think of it running society. It's going to be a form that is more, non-monetarily bound, and it's going to be more fair and balanced. You know what I mean? But I mean, that obviously those conversations need longer diving into, so we won't get too deep into that. But yeah, I probably got off track a little too.
No, you were demonstrating having Mercury in Capricorn perfectly. Takes me longer to think about things, but the truth will come to light. This is like that Saturn ruled Earth sign, but cardinal Capricorn. Very beautiful. I appreciate that, because I'm looking at your Mercury and going, okay, I see it. Yeah. And especially ruled by an exalted Saturn in Libra with Jupiter, so all the potential in the world to get it right, but it doesn't have to come quick. It should come slow.
Yeah, and it's going to force me to. So I try to headbutt those walls. And sometimes they don't come down right away. Yeah.
And you brought up new forms of currency for this summer when Uranus perfects a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. Like advances in AI. If you're working with AI, wait till you get to this summer. Wait till you get this. And same thing for like Christian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This whole,
whether we wanted to or not, certain things we can do now. Exactly right. And it's interesting watching the world right now and what's happening. We stripped away from everybody. So like it's going to, unless you jump in it now and be, basically like there's going to be, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I 100% agree. Jumped on and surfed ASAP, or you're going to get left behind very quickly because of how fast air and ride, you know what I mean? And I was asking Andreas all kinds of questions at first, and he's like, helped me set up all kinds of stuff and got me going. And he's just like, bro, ask the AI.
Well, for you specifically, GI Ant, this summer is big for you. So like, get it going now. You know what I mean? For you specifically, like in the world, now's the time. But you the alignments to your chart right now are like just plug ahead, just do it. Get it going.
I feel it, bro. I do. I feel it, and I appreciate that feedback too, because
Yeah,
I headed that way anyways by feeling, you know.
the end of this summer,
Right.
you're going to have Saturn right on your midheaven, and I think it stations right on it almost. Yeah, pretty close to it. You'll get another hit in the fall. Like, so June, you're going to get your first hit of Saturn to your midheaven, and then in the fall, it'll station, and then in 2027, you have your final hit. So it's a good time to be working on your stuff now. Get it going. This is a big year for you. Big year for you.
Yeah, we're gonna build some crazy stuff. I think you'll see. You'll be pretty interested.
We're gonna involve you, Noah. You're gonna be involved, bro. We're gonna. There's so many we can do with it, man. So we'll get. Yeah.
I'll tell you when to launch it. That's what I'll do.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it.
Love it. Thanks for coming on, man. This was great.
Yeah. Love you guys, man. Thanks.
Dude.
I
And
appreciate
giant,
it.
we'll definitely do another giant episode. Like, let's do another one pretty soon as well. We should be talking about AI and training stuff and how that relates to the same energy flowing through machines, same energy flowing through all life. I think that's something to talk about pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. All right. Love you guys. Have a great one.
Cool,
thank you. Yeah. Talk
Yeah.
to you soon.
I'll call you soon, bro.
I feel like
Excellent.
4 hours and 37 minutes for Alex.
Oh my God.
Patreon.
Astrology. And viewers like you across America, and you like curling. I love curling.